Elderly woman and 5-year-old child were pulled from that one-story home. The cause of the blaze is now under investigation. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Put the power of Action 8 News in the palm of your hand. Download the free Action 8 News app to stay on top of breaking news wherever you are. Search for WAKA News in your app store to download the Action 8 News app today. Keep your family safe by watching Action 8 News. Look for 8 on your side consumer alerts with product recalls involving cars, food, children's toys, and other items in your home. 8 on your side, keeping you safe only on Action 8 News.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx saved you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage pre-approval letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Is cocaine a stronger up?
Yeah. Cocaine
so you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Can you get a cough, please? They're all different shades of color. They're like sort of white, but one's like orange white. My favorite color, orange. I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here on a great Monday. Actually, it's a little stormy here on Monday in Montgomery, Alabama, but I'm Eddie. He's Joey.
How you doing?
We're doing things a little cattywampus today.
Hey, I was very proud of you over the weekend.
You were proud of me?
Yes.
I'm Joey. He's Eddie. Sorry, folks.
You did a good thing in that parade, and you drove the van.
Yeah.
That was really good.
And I had to go
nerve-wracking, wasn't it?
I get why you couldn't meet me here.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I don't get to just hop back on the interstate. I got to drive all through the back roads of Prattville and Millbrook.
Yeah.
But no, that was a good time.
It was a good time. But it was, I'm glad you got to experience the, oh my God, is this kids running out in front of me while I'm trying to throw candy?
Yeah, I stopped throwing candy and just started focusing on the road.
Focus on the wheel. Yeah.
Well, and I didn't feel as bad because we were the caboose, other than the very last float in the Millbrook parade was Santa.
Which was good.
So as soon as kids looked a little disappointed, like no more candy, I saw several kids like go, Merry Christmas, and then they would turn away from me and go, it's Santa!
Right. You could hear them screaming, Santa!
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that worked out really well.
It was good. Great to see a lot of folks out there.
was.
Big packed parade route.
Yes.
Beautiful
Lots of people.
Millbrook.
And lots of people knew who we were, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's not something I normally do, as Eddie knows.
You
as
came
most
way
people
out of your
know.
shell with that, which was good.
Yeah, I'd felt way too wholesome.
And that's another thing. It really was a wholesome event.
Yes. Except for some of the behind the scenes stuff with some of these people riding and driving these floats.
Joe,
and adults are just.
That's what it takes to put these things together, Joe.
Right. You got to be a little bit of a Scrooge before you can actually enjoy the old Christmas.
Yeah. But that was fun.
But, I mean, where do we even begin today?
Ooh, crazy weekend.
Because, okay, let's just run through it. Jay-Z, you know, the big hip hop star.
Yeah.
He's a rapper.
Yes, producer.
Yeah.
Mogul.
Yeah, is he a billionaire at this point?
I think he's got to be. Between the combo action of him and...
Oh, and Beyonce?
Yeah, they got to be.
Yeah, they're like real big. Jay-Z accused of rape of a 13-year-old alongside Diddy in the year 2000. Wow. Of course, strongly denies the allegations. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
But dadgum, that's... Cat Williams is a prophet. He said 2024, all sorts of stuff's going to be coming out, and 2024 ain't over yet.
Is he a prophet or is he an informant?
Yeah, or maybe he just kind of saw...
I believe he's seen a lot of
He's
things.
seen all this stuff. He's heard a lot of stuff.
But
he's making a lot of good points, too. And it's really held up over the year.
But as many people I thought would come out and throw stones against him because he did come out and say all those things, most comedians, especially black comedians, came up and said, man, he was solid. When I was down, he was there. He gave me a handful of cash. I mean, he got, no, as far as I know, he got no pushback.
But before all the Diddy stuff dropped, he called out Diddy by name.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the point that he made that you get you get Hollywood money and then you get some strange looking white woman that's never done an interview, will never do an interview. He's kind of got a point. It's sort of like, here's the glide path.
Yeah.
We've set you up and you better play ball.
Yep.
And if you don't play ball, well, you better learn to survive on your own. I don't know. I was telling you off air with the Jay-Z thing. There was a couple months back, Piers Morgan interviewed a woman who had been around the hip-hop scene, was in many videos. I'm forgetting her name. Got a big name, but was on the scene.
Yeah.
And she accused Jay-Z of assault and these sorts of things. And very quickly, their group, the lawyer for Jay-Z, came out and didn't just attack the woman. Attacked Piers Morgan himself, said, we will destroy your show in court. So Piers pulled the interview. Had to do a whole very awkward note at the beginning of one of his shows. Though we call this show uncensored. We don't want to lose the show altogether.
I wonder if that's changed as what coming to light over the weekend.
Oh, I'm sure something else will come up. But that's not the only thing. Jay-Z now being accused of awful, awful things at a Diddy party. You're also seeing breaking news right as we start at the show. Daniel Penny, that trial has been ongoing, found not guilty. He was first, the jury could not come to a decision on manslaughter.
Yep.
And now he has been found not guilty for negligent homicide. There is a little bit of protesting going on outside the courthouse.
Ridiculous.
BLM, they also have I think, relatives of Eric Garner, who was killed up there in New York. Of course, we're seeing parents speak out and saying this is awful, and I guess we can get into it. But I looked at that story. We haven't covered, again, we don't do really the trial thing here, because I'm not a lawyer, you're not a lawyer.
No.
And even if you are a lawyer, I think there's a disservice of gleaning an opinion when you're not actually a jury member sitting in that box and it's your job to decide. So everybody else can have their opinions, but seeing the not guilty verdict, it's kind of my read on the story.
Well, I know they did some interviews, man on the street interviews Friday. Folks were riding the subway and asked their opinion on it. Every single one, didn't matter color, race, nothing. They all said, I appreciate that, man, because this kind of crap happens every single day while I'm on the subway. every single day. And they said the big reason they felt like Bragg was going after this guy because so many people have complained and they don't have the cops to do anything about it. So they're embarrassed about it. So what are they going to do? They'll go after the guy that actually did something. Because they said there's no enforcement. The one girl said she's ridden that train for 15 years. They've never seen cop one on.
Well, and here is Jordan Neely, the guy who was killed.
Mm-hmm.
This is his father speaking outside the courthouse just after the verdict was handed down of not guilty. Daniel Penny found not guilty. Here's the father of Jordan Neely reacting.
I just want to say, I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. The system is rigged.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, people. Let's do something about this.
Let's do something about it. Too often, we have Eric Garner's mother here.
You could hear the protests in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Got another clip of a guy who claims to be a leader of BLM. Is that still a thing? Is that still an organization? Not the
As long as
sentiment,
people
the
are giving
organization.
money,
Yeah, I guess so. So this is not the only thing that broke over the weekend.
Yeah.
Syria has fallen. Assad got out of town.
Yeah.
And it surprised, I think, a lot of folks.
Shouldn't have surprised us. The admin just not watching that ball.
Well, but I think the admin's celebrating this.
They are, but
Israel's celebrating this. Turkey is celebrating this. Well, but I think it did really keep, even the folks who wanted to see Assad go probably were a little surprised by this, because apparently the story is, okay, they start one operation that, okay, but let's keep going. They found no resistance.
Right.
The Syrian army just falls away. And so they just keep going.
Keep going, yeah.
To where now you're seeing Assad's like caches of weapons and car collection.
Saw that car collection.
Apparently Assad is now in Moscow.
Yeah. Him and the fam.
Escapes to Russia.
Yeah.
But you got to wonder what's next. Like, this transition is the longest ever. You know how happy we were the day after the election? And now watching all these things on the way out the door under Joe Biden's supposed watch. Okay, Assad is gone. What happens next? Like when Saddam Hussein is gone, what happens next? Oh, by the way, this guy who, I think his name's Jelani, who's now the quote-unquote head of Syria, but it's not an actual government. It's such a mess. It's sort of chaotic.
See the guy that called for, because I thought somebody was over
He was the guy leading the
called,
forces that took over Damascus, took over
said,
Syria.
Hey, we need a government here now.
Right.
Yeah.
But they don't really have one. Again,
No.
this is why I think it's such a surprise even for that guy.
Power backing.
But that guy was Al-Qaeda. He was Al-Qaeda in Iraq.
Right.
He was a right-hand man of al-Baghdadi.
Watch what's fixing to happen.
Why is Joe Biden coming out like, oh, that's a great thing? But it'd be a shame if, one dictator goes and another dictator rises. It's like, what do you think's going to happen, Mr. President?
Over there. Come on.
Absolutely crazy. 272-9228. If you want to react to any of all this breaking news that's happened over the weekend. But apparently Biden did deliver remarks on Syria. You want to see what the old goat said?
See what he stuttered about.
All right, here he is walking up to the podium. Always good when you start with a cough.
What happened in the Middle East? After 13 years of civil war in Syria, more than half a century of brutal authoritarian rule by Bashar Assad and his father before him, rebel forces have forced Assad to resign his office and flee the country. We're not sure where he is, but there's word that he's in Moscow. At long last, the Assad regime has fallen.
At long last.
This regime brutalized and tortured and killed literally hundreds of thousands of innocent Syrians. The fall of the regime is a fundamental act of justice. It's a moment of historic opportunity for the long-suffering people of Syria to build a better future for their proud country. It's also a moment of risk and uncertainty. As we all turn to the question of what comes next, the United States will work with our partners and the stakeholders in Syria to help them seize an opportunity to manage the risks. You know, for years, the main backers of Assad have been Iran, Hezbollah, and Russia. But over the last week, their support collapsed, all three of them, because all three of them are far weaker today than they were when I took office. And let's remember why. After Hamas attacked Israel on October the 7th, 2023, when much of the world responded with horror, Iran and its proxies chose to launch a multi-front war against Israel. That was a historic mistake on Iran's part. Today, Iran's main territorial proxy, Hezbollah, is also on its back. Only 12 days ago, I spoke from the Rose Garden about the ceasefire deal in Lebanon, a deal that was only possible because Hezbollah has been badly degraded. Meanwhile, Hamas has been badly degraded as well. Iran's own military capabilities have been weakened. Iran tried 2 times to attack Israel, and the United States built a coalition of countries to directly defend Israel and help defeat those attacks. All this made possible for Iran and Hezbollah to continue to prop up, impossible, I should say, for them to prop up the Assad regime. Additionally, Russia's support for Assad also failed. And that's because Ukraine, backed by our American allies, has put up a wall of resistance against the invading Russian forces, inflicting massive damage on the Russian forces. And that has left Russia unable to protect its main ally in the Middle East. Excuse my cold. The upshot for all this is, for the first time ever, neither Russia, nor Iran, nor Hezbollah could defend this abhorrent regime in Syria. And this is a direct result of the blows that Ukraine, Israel, have delivered upon their own self-defense with unflagging support of the United States. You know, over the past 4 years, my administration pursued a clear and principled policy towards Syria. First, we made clear from the start sanction on Assad would remain in place unless he engaged seriously in a political process to end the civil war, as outlined by the UN Security Council resolution passed in 2015. But Assad refused, so we carried out a comprehensive sanction program against him and all those responsible for atrocities against the Syrian people. Second, we maintained our military presence in Syria, our counter-ISIS, to counter the support of local partners as well on the ground, their partners, never ceding an inch of territory, taking out leaders of ISIS, ensuring that ISIS can never establish a safe haven there again.
Really? The guy who's running this operation is a frickin' Al-Qaeda head chopper who worked with ISIS. Is he reformed now?
No.
And of course, this has now come out. U.S. Central Command conducts dozens of airstrikes to eliminate ISIS camps in central Syria.
Oh, Israel's dropping paratroopers in.
Oh, yeah, taking the Golan Heights, all this stuff.
Defense activities. Yeah.
But the U.S. CENTCOM forces conducted dozens of precision airstrikes targeting known ISIS camps and operatives in central Syria on December the 8th. The strikes against the ISIS leaders, operatives, and camps were conducted as part of the ongoing mission to disrupt, degrade, and defeat ISIS. In order to prevent the terrorist group from conducting external operations and to ensure that ISIS does not seek to take advantage of the current situation to reconstitute in central Syria. The operation struck over 75 targets using multiple U.S. Air Force assets, including B-52s, F-15s, and A-10s. Battle damage assessments are underway, and there are no indications of civilian casualties. CENTCOM, together with allies and partners in the region, will continue to carry out operations to degrade ISIS operational capabilities, even during this dynamic period in Syria. There should be no doubt we will not allow ISIS to reconstitute and take advantage of the current situation in Syria, said General Michael Eric Kurilla. All organizations in Syria should know that we will hold them accountable if they partner with or support ISIS in any way. Well, what about the guy who just took over Damascus?
He's on our payroll.
What about the people we've partnered with? That's not very reassuring.
Nope.
Man, what they're handing off to Trump.
A bucket?
What they're handing off to him.
Bucket of poop.
Yeah. And of course, Trump decided to meet the press over the weekend. We got a bunch of clips from that 70-something minute interview.
Yeah.
The full released interview online, that is. They cut it down for TV time. But we've got several statements from Trump. But first, let's see what Trump has to say about Syria.
Okay.
You heard from Biden.
Yep.
Here's the statement Donald Trump, President-elect Trump, put out. He said, opposition fighters in Syria, in an unprecedented move, have totally taken over numerous cities in a highly coordinated offensive and are now on the outskirts of Damascus, obviously preparing to make a very big move towards taking out Assad. This is, of course, right before Assad actually flees. Russia, because they are so tied up in Ukraine and with the loss there of over 600,000 soldiers, seems incapable of stopping this literal march through Syria, a country they have protected for years. This is where former President Obama refused to honor his commitment of protecting the red line in the sand, and all hell broke out with Russia stepping in. But now they are, like possibly Assad himself, being forced out, and it may actually be the best thing that can happen to them. There was never much of a benefit in Syria for Russia other than to make Obama look really stupid. In any event, Trump says, Syria is a mess, but is not our friend, and the rest of the statement is in all caps. The United States should have nothing to do with it.
Yep.
This is not our fight. Let it play out. Do not get involved.
Agree 100%.
Of course, we're involved.
Of course we are.
272-9228. What an absolute mess they are leaving Trump.
Oh, yeah, big time.
But we shall see.
Did you see what happened over Jersey this weekend?
What?
The skies of New Jersey?
No.
These car-sized drones that are flying around.
Car-sized drones.
Car-sized drone, to the point of FAA has issued all kinds of flight warnings. They even had a shelter in place at one point in one community over the weekend. Some of them are flying over restricted airspace, to say the least. They have no idea who they are, what they are, or anything. But the fact that they acknowledge that they're there and they don't know what they are tells me it's not anything our military or they have sent up. It's probably a hobbyist or something of that nature. But they're huge, man. The videos are all over the internet. They are huge.
Yeah, here's a clip from, I guess this is NBC News, sharing a clip of it.
So that's it. It looks like it's flying pretty low. And from that perspective, it looks very large, right? And all those lights in the sky that you see there, see those lights? Those are apparently drones as well, they say, seeming to fly in a V formation, with the whole saga stressing people out nearby.
We're all completely unnerved. I didn't sleep last night. When I would get up and look out my window at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., they were still hovering. I got up at 5:30 this morning and they were still there. As the sun was starting to rise, they went back in the same direction they came from. And I expect they'll be back as soon as the sun goes down tonight.
It's normal to see red and green lights in December, unless they're coming from mysterious drones in the night sky.
Yeah.
It's kind of unsettling. They're not.
But you can hear their drones just by the props.
Hours. Some are very big, probably size of a car.
Mike Walsh says he's seen hundreds of them over the past 2 weeks from his Randolph backyard and has the video to prove it.
They kind of go slow. They come towards you, then they'll change direction a little. They're all going different ways.
The drones have been spotted all over Morris County. Morristown police sent an alert to residents Sunday saying they are aware of drone activity and that if a drone crashes or lands, do not approach or handle it. The FBI's Newark field office would only say it is working with other law enforcement agencies to figure out what's going on.
Okay, pausing it there. If, say, authorities in this area,
okay,
like sheriff's office puts out Montgomery and Elmore and Autauga, they put out a joint statement. Say if a drone,
one
of these car-sized drones lands near you or your property, do not touch it. You think people are going to go touch it?
Getting in the truck, Joey. We going drone hunting.
Yeah, we're not just waiting for it to land on the
Heck
property.
No, man. Sounds like we got permission for a clean shoot.
You said you can hear the
you
props.
can hear by the
It's a distinct sound.
Now, one of the videos I saw, it was a lot closer, probably 50 to 100 yards, and the guy zoomed in. You could see just how big it was. But now there are hobbyist drones I found over the weekend via the internet that are big enough to tote you and me around.
Really?
And people are developing them themselves. So there's no telling. I mean, there's just no telling. But a big drone like that can do damage when it crashes.
So is this like, what is going on here? What is going on here? What a mess.
Even if it is our military, I would think in today's times, with all that's happened, that they would say, hey, guys, it's us. Just
relax.
Yeah.
But at the moment doesn't have enough information to share.
A lot of people want to know what's going on. I think more people are coming around to that, oh, this is going on and maybe it's not good.
Nancy Reed didn't want to show her face on camera, but says she's seen the drones every night since November 18th.
I can see them right out my bedroom window. I can watch them. Last night was about 5:30, so it was earlier. But it's normally anywhere between like 7:30 and 10:30, they're out here. Never during the day. Nobody ever sees them during the day.
One thing she hasn't seen is the normal air traffic she's used to, and she doesn't understand why.
We're in the fly pattern going to like Morristown Airport and Newark, and we used to see a lot of planes coming back and forth. You don't see them anymore.
Now, we also reached out to Picatinny Arsenal because of reports that the drones were flying over the military base. So far, we have not heard back.
Yeah, you would think if you're running PR.
Come on, you can do better than that.
No comment.
Or we had exercises. We're doing exercises. They used to, in Alaska, I think it was Fort Jackson and Elmendorf are side-by-side Army and Air Force bases. And you would hear the cannons often. But they would always let the public know, hey, we're doing exercises. So it's not a big deal that you hear these cannons blastings and things. So, but again, PR.
So far today, Daniel Penny found not guilty.
Yes.
Who knows what sort of unrest might happen in New York City because of that.
And Rand Paul here, too. People don't like that.
He does have Rand Paul hair.
Very strong Rand Paul hair.
Yeah, some might say it's actually Daniel Penny hair that Rand Paul's been walking around with all these years.
Joey.
So Daniel Penny found not guilty.
Yep.
Jay-Z accused.
Yeah.
Of doing a nasty thing at a Diddy party. He, of course, denies it.
Of course.
Assad has fallen in Syria.
And is gone.
To the hands of, like, say, the rebels. I love how they use that euphemism. The rebels. You mean a bunch of Al-Qaeda head choppers?
So that tells you that the narrative's changing right now.
While the United States is getting involved in striking ISIS, apparently. So we defeated ISIS, but we didn't. So, you know. And now we've got, what, military or aliens over the skies of New Jersey?
Oh, don't get me started on the Idaho booms.
Idaho booms? What are you throwing at me here today, man?
Some crazy stuff. I went down rabbit trails this weekend.
Rabbit trails?
Yeah. What do you
I
call
thought it was rabbit hole.
Well, you got to get the trail to get to the hole there, don't you?
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, it's Kyle. How are you guys today?
Good,
Hey, Kyle. How you doing, buddy?
Good, good. Hey, you know the difference between those drones up in New Jersey and if those drones were down here, they wouldn't have to give any kind of warning or anything. These guys down here just blasted out of the sky.
Yep.
Right. Kaboom! I got another one. And then you go over there and you look at the wreckage and you find out who owns the darn thing.
Pretty simple, ain't it?
And, you know, they're making too big of a deal out of that. Kaboom, and that's big.
Yep. He was flying over my hunting land. I had to blast him.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, fellas, have a good one.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, I don't just own these 100 acres. I own all the airspace, 100 yards up. Don't get close.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to line 4. You're on there. Who's this?
That would be James.
Hey, James.
Hey, James.
Joey, does anybody walking this earth know what's going on?
Very few.
I've got to go with hobbyist. Blasting something out of the sky that's the size of a car. It's probably going to take that 42-inch wall-mounted gun you were talking about a little while ago.
Oh, good old 10 gauge to take care of that.
10 gauge, really?
Yeah. Good old goose gun. Oh, yeah.
I thought we had a chance to use your elephant gun.
It does not take much to bring down a drone. As someone who's crashed a many a drones, it doesn't take much to bring one.
Okay. Even the car size one.
Probably even heavier, so I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, so what you're telling me, barring wind resistance, this would drop faster.
Yeah.
Let's not, acceleration due to gravity, mass doesn't matter. It's still 9.8 meters per second squared.
Unless your props are telling it to go down, then you're going to have some.
Yeah, then you could speed up, right? Even okay. Gosh, I am babbling. It's a hobbyist, and the reason I'm fairly confident that it is a hobbyist, and unless it's some foreign government, which would be a concern.
Yeah.
But it's somebody out there listening closely to the radio, looking at whatever's streaming, watching news feeds, and wondering if they made the news or not.
They made it last few nights, that's for sure.
Yeah, we really got them with that V formation, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's next?
Well, Eddie's got booms in Idaho.
Idaho booms, man.
Well, the next thing will be the V formation with one missing.
Could be. But if they didn't want to be seen, they could have turned the lights out. I mean, if it's a hobbyist, he didn't want to be seen.
Well, they could do more than turn the lights out. They could shut down the whole eastern seaboard if they so desired.
Hobbyists?
I thought we were talking about
hobbyists with brains. You know any hobbyists, Joey?
Yeah.
I know at least one. But hobbyists with brains. Sure. The grid's not that complex.
Man, a lot of soft targets, you're right.
I doth speak too much. I should adhere more to James. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger. That being said, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
See you, James.
Ta-ta. 272-9228. Like I said, if you want to get in on the conversation, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And there at Pest Pro, they're doing something special for the holiday season. What is it? Operation Blue Santa?
That's right, Blue Santa, Joey.
So you can drop by there to Pest Pro Services location there at Main Street in Millbrook.
Yep, easy to find.
Very easy to find. Right there on Main Street in Millbrook. Just drop by an unwrapped toy.
Mm-hmm. New unwrapped toy. And they will make sure it gets sent to family or children here in our area.
Beautiful.
I love that.
So y'all get by there, go buy an unwrapped toy, go take it by Pest Pro Services. And while you're there, if you don't already use them as a pest control service, get to know them. They're great folks.
Great opportunity to do that.
Really great people. And nothing's going to stump them when it comes to your pest control problems. They really have seen it all. They're always putting out little trivia too. Like, have you seen this bug? We'll explain what it is on their Facebook page. And of course, they're at Pest Pro. They can help you with an emergency job as well. Say, family stopping by soon for Christmas. You want to make sure there are no ants in the kitchen, no cockroaches in the guest room.
True.
You want to make sure that house is ready to go. And that's Pest Pro Services. Call them up today at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We've got some fairly big-ticket weather to talk about with the risk of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast today, tonight, tomorrow, and Tuesday night as well. The risk of locally heavy rainfall amounts are possible, maybe even a few stronger storms on Tuesday. High today near 70, low tonight around 60. We'll be in the low 70s on Tuesday, then another big temperature plunge behind this storm system on Wednesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live.
Hey, one other thing we forgot to cover a while ago is they supposedly have caught the assassin.
Yes, we did leave that out. And that does not look like the guy in the photos.
Okay, I'm so glad you're there with me. There's so many. I'm worried they picked up a patsy.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I don't know that for sure. It's just
maybe
that's
they
our
got
government here lately.
Maybe they got him because it wasn't as clean and professional as we thought at first.
Right,
There were a lot of issues. New York mayor says suspect has items linked to the shooting.
Well, they already the weekend they found a backpack. It was full of Monopoly money. Then I heard of this attorney, one of those rabbit trails I went down. I heard this attorney
rabbit trails. You sure it's not a rabbit hole?
Not yet, because I hadn't gone to it yet.
Okay, Alice.
But he said that he thinks the guy is so smart that all these other pictures we saw, it's not him. He's paid someone to dress up like him to even escape his or help his escape that much further. I don't know if I believe all that. But I have noticed that, like, look at that picture right there. Everything's black. Even his backpack straps are black. You'll see another picture here in a minute where the the backpack is gray. His jacket is black.
Well, maybe it's just different cameras and different lighting.
Understand, but there's a difference between gray and black. Even black and white cameras show a difference between gray and black.
So yeah, I mean,
So
I guess the theme today is
I got a little paranoid this weekend.
What the heck is even going on in the world? And we even got like politicians and other talk radio hosts out there saying Coleman is not a sundown town.
I saw that video this weekend.
Yeah, all these TikTok people are like, it's still a sundown town. And to his credit, I don't do this often. Dale Jackson up there in Huntsville said, I'll give $1,000 anybody can prove this. And nobody's taking him up on it. So
the
good
video
for you,
I saw
Dale.
was a black, I don't think he was a sheriff, but he was a sheriff's deputy. And he said, I'll prove to you. I'll go there right now.
Yeah.
He's like, this is a great place.
Let's go to TS. Hey, TS.
Joey,
How you doing?
am I on? As in, can you hear me?
You are live on the radio.
Okay. Why did I call? Oh, I remember. My apologies for not welcoming you and hollering at you at the Millbrook parade, but I was preparing for the Nutcracker. Did you go Friday night?
I did not go to the Nutcracker, no.
Well, Miss Priscilla had tickets for all y'all.
Yeah, but I didn't go to the ballet on Friday night.
Oh my gosh. River Region Ballet Company put on the best show.
Yeah, I've seen their shows before. They do an amazing job. I would never deny that.
Well, I'm just saying I doubt seriously that the thing that's coming up at the Impact will outdo what I watched with my little girly girl will compare. So that's all I was going to say, and maybe I'll see you in the next parade.
Sounds great.
Okay, y'all have a great day and stay dry.
You too, TS.
Had lots of people hollering your name.
And yours. Eddie!
Heard a few things. But I think even Justin tried to do the whole, you had still told everybody to tell Joey.
Yeah, no, I heard that, and I even heard a few throwbacks, like it's like 20 years ago. Pizza Man, Pizza Man. I'm like, he hasn't done that in a decade or two. Like, what is that?
What was funny to me, and I know it was people hustling for candy, which was fine. But one girl, she couldn't have been 15 years old. She said, "I just got done listening to y'all." Really?
Oh no.
Really? Here's some candy, but you don't have to lie to get it.
Yeah. Like right. 272-9228. I have a request to the audience.
Yeah, what you
if
got?
You're out there listening and want to help out. My cousin Whitney, about the same age. I'm, I guess, 11 days older than her.
Okay.
She has started a GoFundMe. Why? She wouldn't be one to normally ask for something like this. She's a single mom, 2 young boys who are great. Very cool to see them growing up and doing all right. But she put this out saying that her car was stolen. And you're like, okay, that sucks.
It does suck.
It was then involved, the stolen vehicle is involved in a high-speed chase. It was then totaled. She, she's again a single mom, just getting by, only had liability on the car. So she's asking folks for support on GoFundMe. I've got the link to the GoFundMe on my Facebook page.
Good deal.
Just go to Joey Clark on Facebook. It says, my cousin needs y'all's help. Please consider donating whatever you can. Because, with 2 young boys and trying to get them to and fro to all the great events, I think one of them is going to be a freaking NFL star.
Really?
These kids are great. But if y'all have the money, if you can consider it, please go on my Facebook page and help out my cousin Whitney. She needs the help in this tough time, and especially in the middle of the holidays. You hate seeing something like that. I mean, just how unlucky is that, too? Like, car stolen, it's like, okay, maybe we'll get the car back, but nah, it's now destroyed. So.
That's tough.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
This is 31.
Say that again.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. Who's this?
Dirty Water.
Dirty Water.
Dirty
How you doing,
Water.
buddy?
How you doing? Hey, man, I'm doing good. About that stuff about
Well, I guess
Yeah, we lost
somebody
our connection
didn't
there.
want Dirty Water to say what he was about to
Call
say.
us back, man.
Is that now I'm a little teased, like about
Oh,
that
yeah?
stuff about click.
At least you didn't get that phone call at like 2 a.m. Are you awake? Are you awake? Yeah. Why? About that stuff.
Oh wait, you got one of those the other day?
No.
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 No, I was asleep with the dog in my spot.
Man, that's the thing. I love my dog. He's 100
Roxy's
pounds of whatever. But me and my wife have a king size bed. I think it's the biggest bed you can get. But between the dog, 2 cats, we're both like living on the edge. It's like literally getting knocked
Yeah.
out of the bed. I don't know what the heck to do. But I love the fact that Roxy sleeps with us. There are middle of the night things where I'll roll over and she's like a big teddy bear.
Oh yeah, man.
You know, but then there are also times when it's like, man, your hot breath, Roxy, is
Now,
killing me.
do the cats actually sleep, or are they messing with you all in the middle?
Most of the time they sleep, but
You ever catch them like right above your face?
oh yeah,
And, you know, that's
the kitten Joe Exotic used to sleep right on Susanna's head all night. It was just like parked like a hat. That drove her nuts.
You named your kitten Joe Exotic?
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
yeah. I'll tell a story. So I used to go by this convenience store. There were 3 cats there.
Mm-hmm.
Then suddenly there were 2 kittens there. And suddenly there was 1 kitten there. So, and I knew what had happened. So I took the 1 kitten and I brought it home and I told my wife, and my son was at the time like, look, I rescued this kitten. I'm such a good person. They both looked at me like, like I was giving them really god awful news, like I was pregnant or something. They just couldn't believe it. I'm like, I saved this kitten's life, and this is the.
And by the way, when you say god awful news, like I was pregnant or something, you mean like pregnant out of wedlock?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I'm 55 years old and pregnant too. Yeah, either way, take
Right.
it either way.
Yeah.
They just both gave me this scorn look, and I'm thinking, I saved this kitten's life. This is,
So far.
Yeah, and then for the most part, a year later, it took that cat about a year to like me, but it loves Susanna. And it took Susanna all of 2 minutes to warm up to it.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and it's a calico cat. And I've learned things.
Oh,
Calico
yeah.
cats are generally females, and female cats are usually very angry.
Angry?
Yes. Yeah. The male cats love to love, but the female cat, JoJo sits on your lap and will growl at you while you pet her.
There's some parallel there that will remain unspoken. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Simpler Days.
Hey, Simpler Days.
Well, did they catch the poor misguided soul that stole her car?
Yeah, I think they did.
All right.
Well, then for sure, try to recoup. And it won't help her immediately, but it can help her down the road. She certainly needs to file a claim with the Alabama Victims Compensation Commission to try to recoup some of her.
I didn't even know that was an option.
Yes, I had a firearm stolen and a laptop, and so they caught the poor misguided soul, and they asked me, do you want to try to recoup your damages through the Alabama Crime Victims Compensation? And I said, oh, by sure, and for sure, and I also want to prosecute him to the fullest. And that's one of the things that she'll have to do. She'll have to agree to assist in the prosecution of this poor misguided soul.
Well, I will advise her to follow through with the process.
Yeah, if she'll let the DA's office know that she wants to file a claim with the Alabama Crime Victims Commission as a victim of crime, then they'll assist her with that.
Okay, beautiful. I didn't even know
that was an option. I'm glad you educated us on that.
Have a good day, gentlemen.
You too, Simpler Days.
I didn't even know that was a real thing.
Neither did I.
The GoFundMe is again on my Facebook for my cousin Whitney. You can see her smiling face alongside her boys, and just no way to get a car at the moment. So anything that can help, please donate 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Got to hit this quick break. Hopefully we'll have Austin Baranko on the other side.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
If new floors are on your wish list, bypass the big guy and go right to Prattville Carpet for style, selection, and worry-free installation. Holiday hosting is much more fun with cozy carpets or heartwarming hardwood from your hometown flooring headquarters.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plate, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
And a non-transferable lifetime installation warranty. Get what you really want this Christmas. Shop PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Celebrate the holidays with A Christmas Carol at Alabama Shakespeare Festival. Scrooge, Tiny Tim, and all your favorite characters return to the festival stage for this heartwarming lesson in forgiveness, generosity, and redemption. It's a joyful Christmas tradition for the entire family. On stage now through December 29th. Tickets at asf.net.
Hi, this is Sharon with the Depot Furniture Gallery. Choosing to advertise with Blue Water was an easy decision to make. Our goal was to increase sales, and they reached the audience that we wanted to connect with. Our sales rep has been great to work with, and we couldn't be happier with the results.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Austin Baranko with Invista Advisors. Hey, Austin, how you doing today?
Having a great day, Joey. How are you?
We're surviving. A lot of breaking news over the weekend. So we're kind of just going over all that, including this is just a throwaway. I don't know if you saw the car-sized drones over New Jersey.
I haven't heard of it till you just mentioned it, but I Googled it, and yeah, it looks like they're unidentified. But the first thing that popped into my mind is Joby and Archer Aviation. Have you heard of either of these companies before?
No.
They're pretty popular stocks in the market. I've had clients call me nonstop for the last few weeks about them, but they are aviation companies that create drones, and they're approved by the FAA to transport people from hotels to airports in major metropolitan areas like LA.
Oh, wow.
And they're already under operation in some cities, but it's a slow rollout. But those two companies pretty much control the market, Joby and Archer, and I've been tracking those for a little while. So my first thought was maybe this is going on in New Jersey, but after looking at what I've just Googled, those look more like UFOs.
Yeah, I just saw a clip of the governor of New Jersey saying, no, this is a serious problem. So that's coming from the governor's office. You would think at least the military installments there would talk to the governor, but
you would think.
Anyway, that's an absolute mess. And kind of the trend here is it seems like the Biden administration is leaving a huge mess on its way out the door. Let's just talk the macro economy. Kind of what are the trends y'all are looking at there at Vista as you're planning ahead, for the next year?
Yeah, I don't disagree with your comment at all. I think that this administration has just capitulated and said, we give up. They're not really holding up their end of the bargain on a smooth transition. I think they've allowed, from a macro perspective, kind of a disintegration across the world of, military power. I think that there's kind of a vacuum, and they're leaving it that way until we have a new administration. It's frustrating. One thing that I look at oftentimes that tells me about global destabilization is the price of gold. And, I'm not trying to put my tinfoil hat on by any means, but, gold is spiking today. It's up almost 2%. And normally when you have bad news, across any form of media, gold goes up. And we're seeing that today. So as far as the macro outlook goes, I think the current administration has kind of left that for dead and said, oh, well, the new administration, since they're so good at it, they'll solve that problem when they get in. But the transition has been very poor in my mind, and they've just taken their foot off the gas in some areas where if they had kept their kind of pedal to the metal, it'd be an easier transition for the incoming administration.
This is why we can't have nice things. Yep. But folks, if you do have nice things, and not just like one or two things, but say like an entire estate, like you've got businesses, you've got a great household, you're looking to preserve your long-term wealth and also plan for all the things that come up as life proceeds, especially with your wealth in mind, you got to stop by and talk to Invista Advisors, and in particular, Austin Baranko here. And of course, folks can always call it 387-0094 and be sure to ask for Austin and tell him, hey, I heard you on the air with that Joey guy on the radio.
Yeah, and Joey, I was going to say one more thing.
Sure.
I was at a little one-year-old birthday party this weekend with Kevin Burke, and you might remember his dad. Mr. Burke was our science teacher, and he had told me that he heard me on the air. So just wanted to say, thanks for being a listener, Mr. Burke, and he had a lot of good things to say about you, Joey. So I really enjoy it when people do come up to me and say, hey, I heard you on the radio. It means a lot. So the word is definitely getting out, and I appreciate your partnership.
Oh, that's beautiful. You just made my day saying that. Thank you, Austin. We'll do this again soon.
Thanks, Joey.
Again, that's Austin Baranko with Invista Advisors.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
So coming up, Eddie, we do have Trump sitting down with Kristen Welker of NBC.
Oh, really?
And at one point, he's like coaching her up. It's like, oh, you could be so good, but you're just so biased. You could be. It's a different Trump. It's a kinder, gentler Trump, trying to bring the country together.
He's
Trump
encouraging her. That's nice.
I think the best way to put this is gold tie Trump. We're going to see a lot more gold tie Trump. I think he's going for something a little different than the power red.
All right.
More and more these days.
Gold tie Trump.
Gold tie Trump.
Okay.
After he did the Rogan thing, he did the Rogan thing with the gold tie.
Right.
And then he shows up and he's got a black and gold MAGA hat with the gold tie and the big trench coat. And I'm like, gold tie Trump. Better watch out. He's still got the dance moves. He's still got the wit. But he's also got the gold.
He's got the dance moves.
We'll get into some of this interview with Meet the Press and the president-elect, Donald John Trump, after the break.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A Marine veteran who put a disruptive subway rider in a chokehold on a New York subway has been acquitted in the man's death. A Manhattan jury has cleared Daniel Penning of a criminally negligent homicide charge. Police say a suspect with a gun thought to be similar to the one used in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is now in custody for questioning in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he is open to the potential deployment of Western troops in Ukraine to guarantee the country's security as part of a broad effort to end the almost 3-year war with Russia. He said the deployment would be a step toward Ukraine joining NATO. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 118 points, the Nasdaq losing 65. This is SRN News.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility comes crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group now. Text PREPARE to the number 989898. That's PREPARE to 989898.
Rich Thomas weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
We've got some fairly big-ticket weather to talk about with the risk of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast today, tonight, tomorrow, and Tuesday night as well. The risk of locally heavy rainfall amounts are possible, maybe even a few stronger storms on Tuesday. High today near 70, low tonight around 60. We'll be in the low 70s on Tuesday, then another big temperature plunge behind this storm system on Wednesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Get 0% financing up to 48 months with approved credit. Now on select Kubota track loaders and excavators. Get a Kubota now through December 31st, 2024. See Capital Tractor Montgomery and Brundage or KubotaUSA.com for details.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. A Montgomery man who is already in jail has been charged with murder in a September shooting. 22-year-old Kentarius Burden was identified as the suspect in the shooting death of Terrell Fuller, who was killed September 14th on Virginia Pines Lane. Burden was already in the county jail on a robbery charge that occurred less than 14 hours after Fuller was shot. The Montgomery Fire Department rescued 2 people from a house fire Saturday morning. The fire was reported around 7:30 at a home in the 4000 block of Vandiver Court. The victims, an elderly woman and a 5-year-old girl, were treated by medics at the scene and taken to the emergency room. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Alabama was left out of the college football playoffs. On Sunday, the committee chose SMU over the Tide for the final at-large spot in the 12-team tournament field. Bama will now close out a disappointing season against Michigan in the ReliaQuest Bowl. The game will be played on New Year's Eve in Tampa, Florida. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Start your day a better way with Action 8 News Rising. Get your first look at news happening today, plus your latest forecast and live traffic reports. Don't settle for the same old morning newscast. Watch Action 8 News Rising, weekday morning starting at 4:30. Don't know an iPhone from a flip phone? You need to watch Action 8 News. Consumer technology reporter Jamie Tucker keeps you on top of the latest technology and keeps you safe from scams and identity thieves. Watch What the Tech, only on Action 8 News.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. You know, this song that we play, is a song you can get on Spotify, Apple Music,
cool,
YouTube Music. It's called "Where's the Liberty?" by Joey Clark. Joey Clark, "Where's the Liberty?" If you want to hear me actually singing on the track,
you got the whole thing ready to go.
Yes. I kind of want to remaster it, do a whole album. Everything needs to be a little louder. But it was a test of going through the distribution process.
Right.
And guess what? I got a copyright notification from me.
From your music?
Yeah. I'm like, this is why I did the test. So.
Well, that's smart, though. Go ahead and get all this stuff.
Right. Well, and I set it up to where you can do revenue sharing. So it's not like I'm stopping me from playing my own music.
All right. You know, we keep talking about things that happened this weekend. Another thing we didn't cover.
Hmm.
Alabama's out on the playoffs.
What are you talking about? They never had a chance.
I don't know, Joey. They a lot of Bama.
Now, as soon as I saw
a chance.
Clemson beat SMU, I'm like, yeah, Bama's not in.
Yeah, but you're not a Bammer.
No, I'm not. I actually went to school at Auburn.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Not all of us did, Joey.
I know.
Yeah, all of us did. In fact, the rest of us that didn't go there, we should just take our fanship and go elsewhere, I guess. Like to Tampa Bay. No.
Yeah, what college team you going to support?
Sumter Area Technical College and Probation Academy for Boys.
Sounds like you got some real winners there on the football team.
Oh, yeah, we do. Just need a quarterback.
Gracious. Now, as promised, President Trump hopped on Meet the Press. The full interview was something like 75, 76 minutes.
Oh, wow.
The complete unedited version where there's a little bit of walk and talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like Trump showing her around and stuff. And again, it's gold tie Trump.
He was very cordial, was he not?
Yeah. And at one point, I think this is actually, there are moments where Kristen Welker is very annoying. Fine. It's what you expect with her and Meet the Press. She's better than Chuck Todd.
Lord, that guy makes me want to throw up in.
She's better than David Gregory. Remember that guy for a short stint? She's better than those two dorks.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
But she asks a pretty good question here. It's one that I think is on a lot of people's minds.
What do you want to say to Americans who didn't support you in this campaign?
I'm going to treat you every bit as well as I have treated the greatest MAGA supporters. There's never been anything like MAGA in the history of this country. These people.
You see what I mean by gold tie Trump?
I see that.
And also the lapel pin he's got on. It's an American flag, I believe, but it's gold.
Yeah.
But it's not the same thing as red tie Trump.
No, I like red tie better.
I know, but I'm saying gold tie Trump, he draws you in. He's not as like
not as threatening,
aggressive and stuff. So keep going, Mr. President.
So dedicated to making America great again. It's very simple. And I'm going to treat them just the same as I treat MAGA. We're going to treat everybody good. We want success for our country. We want safety for our country. You know, our country's under threat, as you know. We have a tremendous threat militarily because of the power of weapons and weaponry. It's a tremendous threat. Nobody talks about it, but it's a tremendous threat. I want to treat everybody the same. I want to treat them well. And at the end of this 4 years, and I have a big head start because I was there for 4 years fairly recently. A lot of bad things were done during the 4 years that I wasn't there. And mostly in what they've done in terms of our reputation overseas. Our reputation is so bad, so shot. I got to bring it back, and I also have to bring back civilization to our country. Our country is a crime pot, and we have to get rid of crime. We have so many things to do. We have to do the prices. We have to do all of that. But we have to get the criminals out of our country. We have to bring down crime. People have to be able to walk across the street and buy a loaf of bread without being shot, and that's going to happen. But what I say to them is, I love you, and we're going to all work together, and we're going to bring it together. And you know what's going to bring it together? Success. I saw that just prior to.
I love you.
You're smiling ear to ear. I love it.
It just cracked me up because unexpected, but
well, because he did the weave.
Right.
Let me weave over to foreign policy and not just our reputation. We need to bring back civilization.
I love you.
Setting a low bar there, Mr. President. You're going to be backing up a little bit.
That's going to happen. But what I say to them is, I love you, and we're going to all work together, and we're going to bring it together. And you know what's going to bring it together? Success. I saw that just prior to COVID coming in, I had polls that were the highest anyone. McLaughlin and Fabrizio said, George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, if they came back from the dead and they ran as president and vice president, couldn't beat you, sir. We were doing so well, and I was getting along with the left. Let's call it the left would be nice. Okay, we're just going to call it. But I was getting along with people that you would consider liberal or progressive, as they like to say, at levels that I never thought was possible. And you know what it was? Success. Success was bringing the country together, and that's what I want to do.
Success. I love that he said, I love you. That's what I want to say to folks who didn't vote for me. Again, gold tie Trump, he's a little bit of a different guy. Now, here is the moment where he becomes Coach Trump because he starts to life coach.
Oh, he starts kind of hyping her up a little bit?
Yeah, Kristen Welker. He's trying to help her out because he's not doing the whole, you're a nasty woman. One of these, like we did with Caitlin Collins.
Wouldn't be too far
It's
off
kind
base,
of
but
warranted.
yeah.
So here's Trump taking a different approach. Again, this is gold tie Trump. Let's listen in.
Sir, I don't have to tell you this because you've talked about it. It comes at a time when the country is deeply divided. And now you're going to be leading this country for the next 4 years. For the sake of unifying this country, will you concede the 2020 election and turn the page on that chapter?
No. No, why would I do that? But let me just tell you, when you say the country is deeply divided, I'm not the president. Joe Biden's the president.
But you're going to be the president.
No. I'm not the president. So when you say it's deeply divided, I agree. But Biden's the president, I'm not. And he has been a divider. And you know where he divided it more than anything else, and it probably backfired on him, I think definitely, is weaponization. When he weaponized the Justice Department and he went after his political opponent, me. He went after his political opponent violently because he knew he couldn't beat him. And I think it really was a bad thing. And it really divided our country.
Sir, Democrats have control of the White House now. They didn't in 2020. If they are going around stealing elections, why
when you
didn't
say
they do it
Democrats
this
have
time?
control now?
Of the White House.
Yeah.
So why didn't they steal this election? Since they have more power now.
Because I think it was too big to rig.
So you won't...
Too big to rig.
To the people who say that you're now directing your Justice Department to investigate 2020, and they want to move on.
I have very capable. I think Pam is going to be great.
Precious resources.
By the way,
Is that what you want them to do?
Just so you know, I have the right to do that, but I'm not interested in that.
Oh, you're not. You're not going to do that.
I'm not interested. I have
Okay.
the absolute right. I'm the chief law enforcement officer. You do know that. I'm the president. But I'm not interested in that. You know what I'm interested in? Drilling and getting prices down and stopping people from pouring into our border that come from prisons and mental institutions.
All right.
I mean, he's a little more laid back. A lot more laid back, in fact. And I like this guy, and I thought that was the one where he was going to coach up Kristen Welker. I must have had it mixed up.
I don't know if her heels could be any taller, but good Lord, man.
What do you mean, her heels?
You didn't see those shoes?
I wasn't looking at her shoes.
Don't make me sound like a foot fetish freak. Look at those big old shoes that she's got. The heels are
I'm
like
looking
8
at it
inches.
now, yeah.
Dude, those are kind you can, if you're ever getting like mugged, you can kill your mugger with those things.
You like feet? You look at feet a lot?
I don't. Feet kind of disgust me.
Then why did you even bring up her
Because I saw how
shoes?
big those heels were. And I thought, she must have a trouble with being short just like Joey.
Go
but
to line
she wears
one. You're
heels.
on
There
there.
you go.
Who's this?
This is Dirty Water. Can you hear me now?
Hey, a little
sir.
better. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I was up riding around with my dog up around that $1.5 billion sanitarium they're building in Elmore County.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I didn't have good phone coverage. But I just wanted to say, that about Coleman being a sundown town.
Yes, sir.
I'm familiar with Coleman since '87. I did craft shows and powwows up there, and I've traveled extensively in North Alabama, and I've never seen a sundown town sign anywhere.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to me, it's an urban myth. It's like this. I know you guys have heard this crap. You heard this. Oh, they sent divers down to the dam to look for cracks in the dam, right?
Yeah.
And they saw catfish that could eat a Volkswagen. I know you guys have heard that.
Heck yeah. I think since I was like 8 years old, I heard that. You mean you're trying to
it's
tell
all-
me that's not true? There's catfish
It's
down
all-
there big as a Volkswagen.
It's an old term called road apples. You know what that is, right?
No, but
No.
you can enlighten me.
Well, road apples. Back in the day when horses walked down the road, they pooped in the road and they called them road apples. You know what I mean?
Now we do.
Hey, I lived in North Alabama, and there was a journalist up there, and that's the name of his column was called Road Apples, and it was so funny. This guy was hilarious, man. But that's what that is. Sundown Town, the big catfish at the dam. It's all urban myth.
Yes,
It's all crap.
Yeah. Well, somebody could have made a quick $1,000 if they could prove it, but it just ain't true. You're right.
Hey, Joey, Eddie, I love you guys, man.
Cool. I appreciate
I
it,
love
Dirty
you
Water.
guys. I love your show. What I do, I take my dog. I've had him 11 years, and every day we go for a ride in the country. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I put you guys on the radio, and we just ride around and look at cows and goats. You know.
Nice.
But that's my thinking time, and
Yeah.
you guys sure stimulate the thought process. I just want to say thank you, Eddie, Joey. God bless you, fuckers. I mean, fellers.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
We love you too, man.
Love you
Thank
too,
you.
brother. Take care, man.
All right.
I had to catch that. Starting to sound like Jack Campbell there.
Yeah. You know, that's our clientele right there, brother.
Oh, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting, and they're at River Region Contracting. They're ready to help you out with that roof of yours. And, you should get that roof inspected every few years, but you might as well do it annually.
I would say that, Joey, because there's so many things that happen.
Yes.
In the course of a year, especially weather here in Alabama, from the heat to the cold to all the wet that we get as we're getting today. So why would you not get it inspected?
Right. And it's like, well, I have an asphalt shingle roof, so it's not, no, it's asphalt or metal roof.
That's right.
Each have unique problems that you don't necessarily see. Like if a tree falls on your house, you'll notice
That's kind
that.
of obvious.
But like maybe you're hearing bumps in the middle of the night, and you're like, well, I don't know if that's fully secure up there. And really, are you going to climb up on your roof yourself?
Why do that when you've got a company you can call and they'll come do that, inspect your roof for free?
Exactly right. Always free inspections, always free estimates there at River Region Contracting, and their insurance specialists, so they can walk you through that insurance claims process, make it a swift and even pleasurable experience, which is not something you usually associate with insurance claims. That's just how good they are there at River Region Contracting. So call them today at 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Thank you again for that call, Dirty Water. You kind of made my day. How many times can people make my day in one day?
That's what I'm saying,
I don't know. But hey, line 3, you're on there. Who's this?
This is Boomer T.
Hey, Boomer T.
Man, I tell you, that dude right there, man, I believe he could come up here tired to sit on the porch with me.
I believe he could.
Yeah. Hey, no question. I'm sitting right now watching the beautiful ducks swim across the water and having a big time, though. But look here, first thing I gotta say is I got some reports about the parade. They were pretty good. Some of them weren't.
Which
they
parade?
Said that the parade that y'all were in.
Millbrook.
They said that overall they would invite y'all back. They thoroughly enjoyed it. I seen y'all. I didn't get a chance to run to the truck because there was too many women hollering Joey's name with autograph books. I just wasn't going to fight up there though. But I think y'all did a good one. Joey second off. That's the truth, y'all. You think I'm joking? If you did not go to this parade and see these young girls running in the hollering, Joey, and then some young boy, some guys running and go, you like pie, Joey? when the man said, Joey, do you like pie? That's when I kind of backed away from the man, and I feared for myself. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. Prattville Pride ain't got nothing on us, baby.
Let me tell you something, y'all. Y'all did an awesome job. I want you to know that. I mean, I know the rest of the dudes that work with the station. I know all they did, but you couldn't ask for two better guys from that station to do a parade, and that's my hats off to you. Now, second off, Joey, I like gold Trump, tie Trump. I don't like red tie Trump because when you listen to red tie Trump, it's the same story, same speech, the same blah, 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 blah. But when he's got gold Trump tie on, when he's sitting down there, he's all serious business, and he looks you dead in the eye. And let me tell you something, when he says it, he ain't scared to back down to you. I like him better. Now, one other thing about these drones. Now, back in the day, I ain't saying that loud, but I remember we had a little guy, Ronald Slew. He trying to be a little peepee up in here, you know. Miss Teresa had some young ladies up here, and they was out there floating around out there. And I kept noticing I know what the hell it was, you know. I know what a drone was first then. Well, let me tell you something. A 12-gauge shotgun and a drone go together real well, if you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and I do one thing. I'm proud that the guy is found not guilty. It's about taking time that somebody in this United States, the government, stands up for America. That man there's no chance. That man, I'm sorry the man's dead, okay? I don't need anybody to be killed. The man
should have been an institution. He should have been locked up a long time ago. But when you stand up and you see, now that gives you the feeling of maybe if I saw somebody beating Eddie, maybe I would step in and help Eddie. We used to be where they're watching Eddie. I'm gonna get my phone out and watch them beat
That's
Eddie.
what
you
so
know?
many of them do.
Tell me,
All right.
I'm gonna YouTube you. I'm gonna YouTube Eddie getting beat up. Well, maybe more people need. That's what I'm saying. That's what the country can come back to because Trump's making it. And I'm telling you, folks, I've been riding this tireless in the country. There's more Christmas lights I've ever seen in years. People are so excited in the country, out in the woods, on the way to Virginia, Joey. I mean, you rode up in the Carolinas. People are so different. They're so happy. You walk in somewhere and they're like, how you doing? It used to be they turned their back on you. But it's so sad to see people like the View that are still hating Trump in every full body. But guys, I'm gonna get off the phone. But man, I want to tell y'all rocked and rolled, man. And if you don't, hey, you can always be in my parade. Don't talk about. Y'all have a great.
See you, Boomer T.
Have a great day. And God bless you. God bless America. I'll see you when I see you. Later.
Yeah, man.
Oh, great call from Boomer T. So I found the Trump coaching up.
Oh, did you
Kristen
find that
Welker
clip?
Yeah. Again, this is gold tide Trump. Let's listen in.
Going to direct your FBI director and
No,
your attorney general to send them to
No,
jail?
not at all. I think that they'll have to look at that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to focus on drill, baby, drill.
When you say that,
On
it carries
strengthen-
weight, though. You've tapped these people to lead the Justice Department and FBI.
They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
Biden can give him a pardon if he wants to, and maybe he should. Just remember, unselect committee, a year and a half of sworn testimony, and after getting all of the testimony, they deleted it. Wait, and they destroyed almost everything. There's nothing left. It's unprecedented.
And they deny
If you
doing
do that in a civil case, you go to jail.
You know they deny doing that, and officials say that the order never came in for
They
the
put
National
out
Guard.
a statement.
On January 6th, let me ask you this about January
Wait,
6th. I think
Benny
you're going to want to
Thompson
answer
wrote
this.
in a statement that he has destroyed
Yeah.
all evidence.
Let me ask you this about January
Amazing.
6th.
I wish you could be you have such potential. If you could be just non-biased, you hurt yourself so badly. I'm telling you, they deleted and destroyed all the evidence. Everyone knows it. And you slough it off like it doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm
If
just
I
saying
did
they
it-
deny it. That's all I'm saying.
Kristen, if I did it, you would be standing up in that chair shouting at me. And you know what I'd do? I'd say, you got me. They have done something so illegal.
Again, gold tide Trump. He's a different sort of cat.
One of the things I read this weekend, and I think I read it again this morning, is January 6th pardons. He said day one. Going to be January 6th pardons.
Oh, yeah, man.
Day one.
Oh, yeah. A lot came out of this interview.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and credit to Kristen Welker. She got him talking for like an hour and a half. Like, they actually did a long-form interview, which not bad. Now, there's a lot of questions over Trump's appointees and whatnot. In
I'm down with
particular, all the stuff, all the smoke that's been kicked up around Pete Hegseth.
I'm down with him. Double down.
And that's exactly what Trump's doing.
Yep.
Let's listen in.
Looks like Peter's doing well now. I mean, people were a little bit concerned. He's a young guy with a tremendous track record, actually. He went to Princeton and went to Harvard. He was a good student at both, but he loves the military, and I think people are starting to see it. So we'll be working on his nomination along with a lot of others.
Since you bring him up, do you still have confidence in Pete Hegseth?
Yes, I do. I really do. He's a very smart guy. I've known him through Fox, but I've known him for a long time. And he's basically a military guy. I mean, every time I talk to him, all he wants to talk about is the military. He's a military guy.
I love these questions. Do you still have confidence? Like, yes, of course.
Since you brought him up, do you still have confidence in him?
Yeah, good.
No, I brought him up so I could throw him under the bus.
Right. Well, sometimes that is the game.
Not when you're bragging that he's my guy.
Yeah, it seemed like you didn't even need to ask the question. It's like, that's what he just said. Sounds like he's got plenty of confidence. Goodness gracious. Now, Trump goes on about another appointee, talking about the FBI, Kash Patel. Interesting comments here about Cash Patel investigating certain folks.
Think that somebody was dishonest or crooked or a corrupt politician, I think he probably has an obligation to do it. But
are you going to direct him to do it?
No, not at all. Not at all. We have two great people there. We have him and we have Pam. And Pam Bondi has been like a rocket ship. She's very popular and very good and very fair. And Cash Patel is very fair. I'll tell you, I thought Cash may be difficult because he's, a strong conservative voice. And I don't know of anybody that's not singing his praises. The other day I was watching, and Trey Gowdy, who's a moderate person and very smart and very respected in the party, he's Cash's biggest fan. He said, this is the most misunderstood man in politics. He's great. I guess they worked together on the Russia hoax or something.
Misunderstood. He lays
I think the misunderstanding comes from a purposeful mischaracterization of who Cash Patel is.
Yeah,
he's a conspiracy theorist about all the deep state stuff. And it's like that, thank God, that line of thinking, that sort of bumper sticker did not work.
Yeah, I really like him. I've watched him on several interviews. And again, when he lays stuff out, he doesn't hide anything. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do.
He's a very skilled lawyer. I think he worked as a defense attorney.
Yep.
I think he also has worked in the DOJ at some of the highest levels. He's worked on the congressional side with oversight, working with Devin Nunes, and Trey Gowdy on the Russia stuff.
And he's adamant about he wants FBI out of the office and into the field.
And then he had a short stint near the end of Trump's first term as national security advisor, also helping run a lot of the intelligence stuff. You've had top intelligence people coming out singing his praises who worked with Trump, especially the national security advisor, Robert O'Brien, who is not exactly some crazy MAGA person. He's definitely a creature of Washington. So I think Cash Patel's got it. I think Pete Hegseth's got it. Tulsi Gabbard, you got to wonder what's going to happen with Tulsi. I suspect Tulsi's hearings will be one of...
It'll be a little tough, I think.
A lot of glitz and glam to it, a lot of fireworks to it.
Think she's going to make it?
But here's Politico saying, with Matt Gaetz and Pete Hegseth serving as lightning rods, Tulsi Gabbard's nomination as Director of National Intelligence has so far mostly avoided the Washington storm clouds. But the winds are now shifting, writes Politico. The shocking collapse this week of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's regime has reinvigorated scrutiny about Gabbard's past sympathies for the brutal dictator. Oh, good God. Sympathies.
Yep.
This is what they always do.
Sure.
You question the prudence of policy. Well, you just want the terrorists to win. You just like Saddam. You just are in the pocket of Russia and the Kremlin and Putin. You love Assad. It's like, maybe y'all have created a mess for a long time, and we're tired of it. And though they're strangely celebrating today that Assad's gone, well, I'll also be like, it'd be a shame if a new dictator rises up. When the guy who helped lead the force that surprised the world in pushing out Assad is literally an Al-Qaeda head chopper type, was Al-Qaeda in Iraq, worked with Baghdadi. What the heck are we? It's just a mess. But anyway, they're saying now Gabbard's 2017 visit to Damascus to meet with Assad, years after he gassed his own people.
Yeah.
And her comments defending his rule have long exemplified the former Democratic Congresswoman's unconventional foreign policy views. Now her past is both a punchline. Wonder if Gabbard will offer Assad safe harbor at her house, says former Representative Kinzinger. See, and again, this is the sour grapes of people who have lost the trust of the American people. But as if on cue, Gabbard has left an Army training assignment in Oklahoma for Capitol Hill, where she will begin to press her case in person. That begins today with Senators Lindsey Graham, Mike Rounds, and James Langford, with additional Senate Intelligence Committee Republicans scheduled for later in the week. Despite the attention on her views, Gabbard and her allies remain cautiously optimistic. She's very prepared because this is the same crap people have been throwing at her for years. One Gabbard confidant said Sunday night, she's not easily rocked by anything. And from past appearances in front of congressional committees and stuff, I think that's
I agree.
Certainly true. But you question the, foreign policy wisdom of the Washington set, of the Washington establishment, and you'll be branded. You love dictators. You love all these things. We're the pure and chosen few, and just get on our side. We're always telling the truth. liars. And while, again, y'all are celebrating Syria, we'll see how it works out. Maybe it'll work out for the best, right?
Too good, I bet.
Maybe it'll work out. 272-9228 is part of the program, brought to you by Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. And there at Smokehouse, they're ready to serve you. What are they going to serve you? Some amazing barbecue.
Yep.
They've got the original recipes back there at Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. Same location where they've always been all these years, right there on Main Street in Millbrook. In fact, we met behind Smokehouse.
That's right.
For the whole Millbrook Parade. And I'm like, I know where that is.
Yeah.
And
They were
they
packed,
have,
too,
they
by
have 5 brick pits. So you're talking about, like, they're smoking a lot of meat back there.
That would be a great out-of-the-office experience if we went in there to kind of watch some of that action.
Yeah. How about
Especially when they're taking it off?
Well, but how about like for lunch right now? Say like I'm hungry right now.
Yeah.
What about some like hand-pulled pork sandwiches?
That'd be delicious.
Ooh.
Now,
Maybe
do you get
some
yours with sauce on the side or saucy?
saucy, and then I want to
little more
throw
extra?
some of the hot barbecue sauce on there.
My boy right there.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. And of course, the brisket's great. The ribs are great. Everything I've tried there has been great, including, my Uncle Dave. He was here in town for a family funeral, and he's not easy to please. He got the camp stew. Freaking loved it.
I bet he did.
If he doesn't like something, he can be very critical in a funny way, but he loved it.
Good
and
deal.
so I've sent friends there, family members. Everybody loves the barbecue.
It's camp stew weather right now.
Great, like trimmings or fixins on the side. Fried okra is one of my personal favorites. If not, maybe mac and cheese. And of course, also Smokehouse Pit Barbecue is a breakfast destination.
That's right, Joe.
It's not
We've
just
had
lunch
some
and dinner.
great breakfasts there.
Yeah, they're open in-house for breakfast Tuesday through Sunday. I think they open at 6:30. So start your morning off right, and those cheese grits in particular are the best thing I've eaten in ages.
No doubt.
Absolutely amazing. The breakfast menu is everything you expect plus more. It's sort of that extra smokehouse twist on breakfast, and they do it so well. So y'all check out Smokehouse Pit Barbecue today. You can always check them out online, but just stop by. That's Main Street in Millbrook. And be sure to tell them that Joey Nettie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to line 1 real quick. Hey, you're on there. Who's this?
Hey, good morning, guys. Or good afternoon, I guess I should say.
Hey,
How you doing, David?
Syria is just like Iraq or Afghanistan. Pick your monster who you're going to lie in bed with.
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. One's as bad as the next. So it really doesn't matter.
But it's an excellent opportunity for some of these politicians to do some money laundering.
Oh, absolutely. You know that. I'm wondering if Trump goes ahead and pardons everybody for January 6th, is the head of the DOJ under Trump going to go after all these corrupt FBI people and DOJ people who put them basically in prison under a kangaroo court?
Pretty good
and
question.
then mistreated them while they're in prison and violated their civil rights?
I suspect there might be more pardons coming, and Trump very wisely in that Meet the Press interview said it's up to Pam.
Yeah.
It's up to Cash.
Put it on.
That. I think that's a very smart answer.
Smart move,
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. And I hope they do go both barrels
You and I
after
both.
all those people. I mean, they need to throw them right in the same cells that they've been holding these people.
Yep.
And give them the same treatment. So, I just absolutely despise people who work in the Justice Department who violate people's civil rights and mistreat people. So, that would be a just, sentence for them to be in the same cells that they were holding those people.
No doubt.
So, have a good one, guys.
Appreciate it,
Thanks, David.
272-9228. And one guy Trump promised a pardon. He promised, when he spoke at the Libertarian Party convention, he promised the Libertarians that he would pardon Ross Ulbricht.
Forgot about
Ross is the guy who created that website, dark web site called Silk Road, where you could buy anything. And they threw the book at him.
Yep.
Now, there were all these accusations that he hired a hitman, but it turns out it was a whole FBI setup.
Sting? Yeah.
Yeah, they call it a sting, but
Reverse
it's
sting?
the FBI essentially engaging in criminal activity in order to pin that criminal activity on somebody else. Let's just get you to cross that line. Well, he wasn't even charged with that. He was charged with operating this website.
That's all you get.
And so for creating a website that's decentralized that allowed people to buy and sell anything with cryptocurrency, I think they gave him 2 life sentences. He was like in his early 20s when this happens.
Man, I didn't know they gave him to him like that.
Yeah. And they clearly made an example out of this guy because they didn't know what else to do. And a lot of folks have been calling for his pardon, for his release, and Trump promised that.
Good.
So let's see if Trump delivers on his promise to the libertarians. 272-9228. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
At AMS Studios, give the gift of self-care this season and get a little extra. When you purchase a gift certificate for $100 or more, receive a stocking stuffed with $60 worth of free spa gifts, or select a gift certificate for our $105 luxury facial, and you'll receive an additional $120 worth of medical-grade skin treatments added to it. Absolutely free. Find us on Facebook or stop by in downtown Prattville at AMS Studios.
Yes?
Howdy, ma'am. I'm Bill, the electrician.
Oh, hello, Bill. Hey, I like your houndstooth hat. Bama fan?
Well, sorta.
Oh, you're also wearing a War Eagle sweatshirt and a Troy jacket.
Yeah, well, I grabbed a hot wire last week. Kinda scrambled my brain.
Electricity is nothing to trifle with. That's why you only want electricians who are safety conscious and code compliant, like the experts at Crosby Electric.
Okay, ma'am, you take this 2x4, and if you notice I ain't saying much, give me a good knock on the head.
What?
All Crosby Electric team members are trained to make safety our #1 priority to avoid dangerous situations.
All ready to go, ma'am. Just have to connect this wire and... Oh.
Bill, are you okay?
Oh, yeah. Good as new.
Yeah, sure. Who's your favorite team?
Pistachio?
Don't take chances with electricity. Call the experts at Crosby Electric or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
When you need a new door or window replaced, you want it done right. Someone who delivers expert craftsmanship every time. Experience is a must. Listen, Davis Door and Sash. They can show you new doors and windows that can help you lower your utility bills and boost energy efficiency. Davis Door and Sash, Alabama.com or call 334-288-6010. Davis Door and Sash, the perfect fit for your home.
Has your once proud vehicle seen better days? Fear not, help is on the way. Mr. Ben's Auto Spa on the Atlanta Highway has opened a professional detail shop. This is detailing redefined. Specialized techniques and products are used to get your vehicle back to showroom style. Hand washing, waxing, stain removal, odor removal, minor scratch removal, shampooing, and more. Mr. Ben's Auto Spa, next to Fraser Church on the Atlanta Highway. Now offering professional detail services. Look like you've been to Mr. Ben's.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
You've got a Pepto predicament, Festive Feaster.
Who wants another slice of Grammy's famous pumpkin pie?
I do.
I do not. I think I need to lay down for a minute.
You overdid it on all the family favorites, and now your stomach's throwing a Yuletide tantrum. Undo it with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can get back to the feast and the festivities.
Who's ready for some games?
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
We've got some fairly big ticket weather to talk about with the risk of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast today, tonight, tomorrow, and Tuesday night as well. The risk of locally heavy rainfall amounts are possible, maybe even a few stronger storms on Tuesday. High today near 70, low tonight around 60. We'll be in the low 70s on Tuesday, then another big temperature plunge behind this storm system on Wednesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Well, we now have a name.
Yeah.
Suspect detained in the murder of that United Healthcare CEO.
Mm-hmm. They found him in Altoona, Pennsylvania this morning.
So what's the name of this guy?
Luigi Mangione.
Mamma mia. Really?
I swear that's the name they're putting out there. Luigi Mangione. Apparently he is 26 years old.
And he's related to a state lawmaker in Maryland?
That's what I've seen all kinds of. Dude, there's all kinds of things that have come out in just the last 15, 20 minutes. But apparently somebody spotted him at a McDonald's in Altoona. They let him place an order, threw his trash away. They went and got a DNA sample off his trash.
Wow.
So that's one of the stories. Now, who really knows? Luigi Mangione. Come on.
Maybe that's just a real name, and like we're just being racist against Italians or something.
I've never met another Luigi in my life besides the video game.
Like Luigi's Mansion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mangione, I can only think of Chuck Mangione, and he was a...
Now, when you go Mario Kart 64, what character are you going with?
Luigi.
Really?
Yeah.
Luigi?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Have you seen in Japan, I don't know if they still do it, but for a while, I think over the summers, they have that live, where you can...
Oh, it's a lot of fun still.
I would love to do that.
So much fun. Like, the newer ones, the nicer graphics are fun, too, but there's something about the Mario Kart 64, it's damn near perfect.
I'd like
as
to
a
get
video game.
on the road and do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they do it.
Well, and it always was a pain when it was the split screen, and it was the old tube TVs. Can't imagine on my 85-incher. Like, it's like you got your own huge TV for your part. So maybe I'll have to set up a tournament or something. But yeah, Luigi Mangione.
Mangione.
Why'd you say it like?
Because it sat here for 5 minutes. I swear I was trying to figure it out. I went, okay, I got Luigi. What's this, Mangione? And then I finally said, you idiots, Mangione.
272-9228. Now back to gold tie Trump.
Yeah.
Here's Trump, kind of defending the idea of make America healthy again.
Okay.
Not MAGA.
I want a Maha meal.
Mm-hmm. Of course, going to be headed up by RFK Jr. He will be the head of Health and Human Services.
But he made RFK eat a Big Mac on that airplane, man.
That's so funny. It's so funny. All the captioning of that was just perfect.
Either get off the plane or you eat this Big Mac.
Or no, the one that I loved was when the guys go out to the strip club and the one guy in the photo told his wife he was at a poker game.
Yep.
Yeah. He looked guilty as sin. Like, honestly, McDonald's ain't the worst thing for you.
No.
But here's Trump talking about the vaccine issue, of course. Kristen Welker brings this up.
RFK Jr., he has obviously talked about his skepticism of vaccines. He's expressed opposition to childhood vaccines. Do you want to see childhood vaccines eliminated?
Okay, just that framing of that question is bull crap. Same old crap. He's against childhood vaccines. No, he's against vaccines that don't have to go through certain safety tests, especially a battery of vaccines. What is it up to, like 70-something?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Give me a break.
No, thank you.
He's against childhood vaccines. What the hell are you talking about? And this is why y'all lost.
Right, that's the part that kills
me. Why you continue to lose viewers.
That is such a good point. That's what kills me, is they act like they didn't lose.
Yes. Well, it's the whole, you know how, like, back in the day with wrestling?
Yeah.
Like, Vince McMahon is running the WWE territory, and he's sort of stealing from the other territories.
Right.
So I think even like Hulk Hogan, like all these other folks were at, different points in the country. But what Vince would do is when you come to work in his territory for WWE, your past does not exist.
Oh, really?
We do not mention that you're the champion of NWA. We don't mention any of this stuff.
Okay.
Like, you are not so-and-so. You are now a brand new character person in a brand new universe. And I think that's exactly how the corporate media, especially with politics, got away with a lot of their stuff for so long. It doesn't matter if Joey or Eddie said it, or even your local hometown paper did some good investigating and found a great story. If it isn't part of the script that the corporate press is putting out there, it doesn't exist. Nothing exists outside of the world we have created and carefully crafted and curated to keep people asleep while thinking they're informed. It's a hell of a trick of propaganda.
It's the truth, though.
But anyway, I'll get over her framing of the question. Let's see how Gold Tie Trump handles this.
If they're dangerous for the children. Look.
So possibly?
When you look at some of the problems, when you look at what's going on with disease and sickness in our country, something's wrong.
Are you talking about autism?
Well, if you take a look at autism, you go back 25 years, autism was almost non-existent. It was, 1 out of 100,000. And now it's close to 1 out of 100.
Well,
I mean, what's happening? If they can find it. Now, I did something the other night that was a little unusual. At Mar-a-Lago, I called the drug companies, the top drug companies, and I called RFK Jr. and Dr. Oz and some of his people. And I said, let's all get together and let's figure out where we're going. Because we're going to do a lot of things. Number one, we're going to reduce prices because the middleman makes more money than the drug companies, in all fairness to the drug companies. There's a middleman that nobody even knows who they are. And you look at our drug prices, they're much higher than the prices for the same medicine, for the same stuff. So we met, and we met for a long time, and we talked about pricing, and we talked about vaccines, in terms of what happens. We talked about pesticides. We talked about everything. And I think a lot of good things are going to come from him. And he's not going to upset any system. He's not going to upset this. He's not looking to, to reinvent the wheel totally. But when you look at the numbers, we really don't have a very healthy country.
Well, sir, going back 25 years, studies show that there is no link between vaccines and autism. And yet it sounds like you are open to the possibility of him looking
I'm
at
open to
getting
anything.
rid of them?
I think somebody has to find out. If you go back 25 years ago, you had very little autism. Now you have it. I mean,
well, they say because they're
Also
better
look
at
at European
identifying it.
countries.
Goodness gracious, that's just not true.
1 in 100,000, and now it's 1 in 100. That's
actually
a
1 in
pretty bad
36
number.
now.
Childhood
Wow.
vaccines
I mean,
have
something is going on. I don't know if it's vaccines. Maybe it's chlorine in the water, right? People are looking at a lot of different things.
Childhood vaccines.
I want them to look at everything.
Everything. So childhood vaccines have prevented about 4 million deaths around the world every year.
I think that's
sir.
great.
Isn't that...
I'm all for it. I think it's great. Hey, look, I'm not against vaccines. The polio vaccine is the greatest thing. If somebody told me get rid of the polio vaccine, they're going to have to work real hard to convince me. I think certain vaccines are incredible, but maybe some aren't. And if they aren't, we have to find out.
Now, I'm going to jump away from Gold Tie Trump for a second.
Okay.
Because I want to go to that straight thing. And they do this all the time. You know what I'm talking about. Well, studies have shown there's just no evidence of that.
Yeah, right.
They love to sound so authoritative with their studies that are pretty much bought and paid for by the same people that have bought and paid for them in the corporate media. So here's an actual journalist. Remember this guy, John Stossel?
Yes, I do.
He's the guy, by the way, who did that whole investigative report into wrestling, and he got smacked upside the head.
Man, I remember seeing that as a child.
Can't remember the wrestler's name. He wasn't a huge name, but he's like, well, you want to say it's fake to me? Okay.
Roddy.
No, it wasn't a big name.
I do remember.
We can find that clip. But here's Stossel with RFK Jr. bringing up this. The studies show there's no link between autism and childhood vaccines.
I want to get to vaccines. If your kids were young now, would you give them the measles, the mumps vaccine?
No. I got measles, mumps when I was a kid. It was
lots of people used to die from those diseases.
Well, you know what? They died in the 1900s or early 1900s. There were about 10,000 Americans a year died. In 1964, there was about 300 or 400 who died, and they were almost all severely malnourished kids, mainly from the Mississippi Delta. This was before the poverty program, so there was a lot of starving children in our country. It's very, very hard to kill a healthy child with any infectious disease, but particularly with measles. And the World Health Organization now says vitamin A is an absolute cure for measles, which we didn't know about back then. Back then, we were treated with chicken soup, and it was, a week at home watching Leave It to Beaver, and every kid caught it. Every single kid got it. And I had 11 brothers and sisters, and we all got it, and we were all fine. And there are lots and lots of studies out there now that show that kids who get measles as a child are much healthier when they grow up, that they're much more resistant to cancers, to atopic diseases, to allergies, and to heart disease.
You went to Samoa. You convinced people not to get the measles vaccine. An outbreak resulted in 83 deaths.
Yeah, well, that story is not true. First of all, the Prime Minister of Samoa stayed the measles vaccine after measles vaccines killed a number of people in Samoa, including members of his family. So when I went to Samoa, the ban was already in place. And I visited people in Samoa. There was no policy that resulted from my going to Samoa. Secondly, nobody died in Samoa from measles. They were dying from a bad vaccine. And the vaccine was imported from Australia and given to people who had measles, which is not recommended. The same measles outbreak hit Tonga, which is the neighboring island, and nobody died because they didn't get the vaccine. So this is more propaganda by the pharmaceutical industry, which is, drumming up a lie to try to discredit me. But if you actually look into it, John, you'll find that it is not true.
And you still say that autism is caused by vaccines?
Yeah, autism is caused by vaccines. And by the way, CDC's own data, they did a study called the Verstratton study in 1989. And they looked at the hepatitis B vaccine. They looked at children, and from the biggest database in the world, the Vaccine Safety Data Link, they looked at children who got the hepatitis B vaccine during their first 30 days, and they compared those to kids who got it later or didn't get it at all. And there was a 1,350% elevated risk for autism among the people who got the vaccine.
There may well be, but there are studies with millions of people. You ignore the big studies.
You have this wrong. There's a series of about 13 studies that were done by people we call biostitutes. One of them was the leading one, who are people who do these studies for money for CDC. They were paid for by CDC in order to create the illusion that vaccines don't cause autism. The chief scientist was a guy called Paul Thornton, who CDC laid, and his study is the most cited study for this proposition. And Paul Thornton is now a fugitive. He's wanted by Interpol. He stole millions of dollars from CDC that he had claimed to use on this study, but he was building houses, buying motorcycles, and living a life of luxury. And his study is absolute fraud. And yet they have not retracted it because CDC is a dishonest organization. It continues to be cited in the literature. And by the way, John, there are hundreds and hundreds of studies. I've written a book, if you're interested, called Thimerosal, Let the Science Speak, that has, I think, 1,400 references and over 400 studies cited that link autism and other related neurological injuries to vaccines. There is no question about it. If you actually read the literature, if you listen to what the propaganda that CDC tells you, yeah, vaccines don't cause autism, but it's propaganda. This is a captive agency that is intertwined and owned by the pharmaceutical industry.
So maybe Kristen Welker should sit down with him once he's head of HHS and try to spout her nonsense like she spouted to Gold-Tie Trump. This is part of the program. In fact, the entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you with, well, buying a home.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be you're ready to hit the ground running.
Right.
Next year, well, go ahead and get prepared right now. Call them right now. Get prepared on at least getting pre-approved. How much home you can buy.
Right.
And, sellers will take you much more seriously.
They certainly will, Joey.
If you have that pre-approval.
Prepare, because things are going to get busier here shortly.
And, of course, refinance deals. A lot of people are looking into that to restructure debt loads or their finances in general, reinvest in their property, themselves, their family. Maybe they go on the big trip. Maybe you want to be a Bitcoin maxi and leverage out. I'm not saying you should, but, take out a bunch of money to buy a bunch of Bitcoin. It's up to you how you want to use the equity in your home. That number there at Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Again, call them today, whether you're looking to buy or refi as you head into 2025. And you can also always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. MLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Oh, I lost track of time. So we should have Michael Cohen here before too long, but we do need to hit this top of the hour break. Y'all stay tuned. More news and views in the afternoon. Well, right after this quick break.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A man with a gun thought to be similar to the one used in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson has been taken into police custody for questioning in Pennsylvania. Along with the gun, police found a silencer, fake IDs, and writings that appeared to be critical of the health insurance industry. TikTok has asked a federal appeals court to bar the Biden administration from enforcing a law that could lead to a ban on the platform until the Supreme Court reviews the case. If the law is not overturned, both TikTok and its parent company ByteDance have said the popular app will be shut down by mid-January. TikTok has more than 170 million American users who would be affected. On Wall Street, the Dow Industrials down 92 points, the NASDAQ 100 points in the red. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of H&H Carpets in stock specials on waterproof luxury vinyl plank and engineered hardwood flooring at blowout sale prices. H&H Carpet across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We've got some fairly big-ticket weather to talk about with the risk of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast today, tonight, tomorrow, and Tuesday night as well. The risk of locally heavy rainfall amounts are possible, maybe even a few stronger storms on Tuesday. High today near 70, low tonight around 60. We'll be in the low 70s on Tuesday, then another big temperature plunge behind this storm system on Wednesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
Joining us now on air, we have the one, the only Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, how you doing today, Michael?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Pretty good. Doing all right. Good weekend and all?
Yeah, it's been a great weekend.
Beautiful. We had a lot of fun at the parade. So when you're looking around today, Cohen's, what's the score today?
Score today is 28-14.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm always overwhelmed or amazed at how many of our customers buy over the phone.
Oh yeah.
They take a peek at the internet, they call you, and they say, "Hey, what do you recommend?" And then they can talk they have a little more knowledge because they've been looking at the thinkcohens.com, and then we can just help them go through and pick the TV that they need for whatever how their room is laid out, how much sun is coming in, and then Michael Jacks has to start working, and we get it done.
Beautiful, especially for folks who can't make it by the boulevard. I think that's always the best way to go look at a TV in person, but they can always call you, at 277-8890?
That's right, and the traffic being what it is, we all have the same TVs. And it's like I told one of our customers today, he was in, and I said, I wish I could tell you my Sony was better than everybody else's Sony. I can tell you it's the same price, but the guy that's going to do the install, Michael Jacks, he's the one that makes it worth more than what you're paying, just because he's going to get it installed properly. If you'll have your passwords for your Wi-Fi and the different apps like Netflix, then he'll get all that put in and make everything as third grade level as possible.
It's true, folks. I'm a customer myself, and Michael Jacks makes it all better. I love the TV. I love the products you have there, but knowing that you got somebody with that sort of expertise ready to make sure everything's set up perfectly, it's beautiful. So as Michael said, you can always go to thinkcohens.com, sort of shop there. Call them up at 277-8890, or if you do want to stop by the boulevard, it's 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. Cohen's is open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to tell them, whether you stop by or call them, that you heard Michael here on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Yes, and make sure that we know that it's the day that Eddie was on there, like today.
Reset to the beginning of the year,
Michael. He's looking for that reset.
That's it. Reset in just a couple of weeks, baby.
Well,
all right, y'all have a great day.
You too, Michael. Thank you, buddy.
We'll be right back, folks.
1819 News.
A $250 million lawsuit has been filed against Madison County leadership over a family estate. Two brothers, Kevin and Robert Matthews, claim that the county leadership has stolen 22 acres of family property. The lawsuit goes as far back as 2001 to the death of Pierce Matthews, the father of the two men. The lawsuit claims that a Madison County Circuit Court, Billy Harbin, and attorney Douglas Martinson worked together in stealing the land from the widow of Pierce Matthews in a sham sale where the title now cannot be located, and the widow never received payment for the sale. The lawyers for the two Matthews brothers say that this true-to-life case will make a John Grisham legal novel look boring and show that Madison County failed to provide equal justice to all segments of its population. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you. To have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
A preliminary hearing is set for today in Mobile in the case of a man being accused of sexual abuse of a minor. Adam Rank is also facing charges of sexual torture of a child under the age of 12. This past weekend, Dexter Avenue King Memorial Baptist Church in Montgomery celebrated 147 years since its founding. Dexter Avenue Church was once led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. during the Civil Rights Movement and the Montgomery bus boycott. The church is located where once there was a slave pen before the Civil War. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
help solve unsolved crimes by watching Action 8 News. Look for our exclusive I-Team reports as we work with Central Alabama Crime Stoppers to solve murder mysteries and put criminals behind bars. Victims' families are counting on you to watch Action 8 News. Ever miss an Action 8 newscast? Catching up is easy with the free Z Map. Watch the news live on your phone or see newscasts from the past 3 days. Download Z. Search for Zeem in your app store today and stay on top of what's happening from Action 8 News.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the river region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
For more information, send an email to digital@bluewaterbroadcasting.com.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better Business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money?
Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest.
You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist?
That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole. Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your updated market report. So far this year through MLS, there have been over 4,000 closings in the river region. Sellers have been getting on the average of over 97% of the listed price. In this ever-changing real estate market, I've seen more price reductions on listings over the last 3 months than I've seen in years. It's time to act for a buyer. So we have a greater supply of homes for people to see before they buy. We have an average price of $261,000 in our area. Local mortgage companies have come up with really attractive plans for first-home homebuyers, such as down payment assistance, lender credits to help on the closing costs, and buy-down plans to buy down the starting rate for borrowers. Investing in yourself and your community is life-changing for first-home homebuyers. You need a buyer agent to represent your interest and give you great advice. For all this information, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Yeah, I just do enjoy that it seems like a new day in America, but this transition is so slow. Like, we're waiting for the new day to actually dawn. We know it's coming.
It's like waiting on your birthday, man, and you're a kid.
Yeah.
You see it on the calendar, and it's just like, it can't get here. It's time slowing down.
Or you're waiting for Christmas.
Yeah.
And did you ever do the little Christmas calendars, or they also do Advent calendars where it's like a little piece of chocolate behind the little door there?
Let me tell you, in the Bader household, if you eat all the chocolate on the 3rd of December or that Advent calendar, there's a butt whooping to be gotten. Lessons learned.
Wait, you ate all of it on the 3rd?
I didn't realize what it was. I literally
How
thought,
old were you?
I should have known. I'm old enough to should have
like
known.
10?
A little younger, but yeah.
Okay.
But I thought, oh, okay, it's a cool thing we're doing. You open up the little thing, there's candy behind it. Oh, Eddie's like, hey, let's skip the BS.
Let's get the
27
candy.
more pieces of candy.
God.
Yeah.
You ate 27 pieces of chocolate.
Most of them, I'm sure. I gave some to my sister to keep from telling on me, but it didn't work.
Oh, goodness gracious. But it does feel like that. Like,
Yeah.
we're sitting there waiting, wishing, like, can Trump just be president
I
already?
think Biden's thinking the same thing. Hurry up and get out of here.
Well, did you see that some people called for Biden to pardon all undocumented immigrants?
No, I did not see that. I would have thrown a brick at that. Jeez.
Here we go. Here we go. You never know what they've got up their sleeve. The next shoe to drop. But I just do love that the same dynamic that propelled Trump to this victory is going to, I think, propel success in the new administration. And what I mean is, like, listening to Kristen Welker, I'll just focus on my own thinking. Let's say 10 years ago, I've been doing this 13 years. 10 years ago, when I'm really just getting out of college, I would have heard vaccines cause autism and been like, oh, what nonsense.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I agree. I get you on that.
And it's just because you're stuck. You're still blue-pilled. You're still stuck in the matrix.
I remember hearing that and having that thought.
Right. But, and of course, also, like, I don't have children, so I've never had to make the decision myself, which certain folks really got onto this issue because they had to start making the decision themselves about their children, which makes a lot of sense. And so I slowly moved towards, well, maybe you don't do all the vaccines, you spread it out a little more, these sorts of things.
That's what I understand the smartest thing to do.
But we now live in a day and age, just that issue is a perfect example of the day and age we live in. Now, when Kristen Welker says, oh, studies show that there's no link between autism and vaccines, the vast majority of Americans don't believe you anymore, Kristen.
Agreed.
You're not authoritative anymore.
Plus, we've caught our administration or our government lying over simpler issues than this.
Right. But issue after issue after issue, the official party line, they still get you on foreign policy because that really is anarchic. Nobody's in charge of geopolitics, really. So a lot of, like, for instance, I was watching a debate on Russia and Ukraine, and it was a Ukrainian woman who was part of the Maidan Revolution, as she called it. Others on the panel were saying, no, that was the coup that overturned things in 2014.
Yeah.
Well, no, it really is. She really believes it was a revolution and their cause is just, and the other person really believes that it was, a Western-backed coup. And when you look at it, you're like, well, I think they're both telling the truth. Now, who's right? It's such a complicated, complex event to assess that's kind of difficult to know who's right. So they get away with some of this sort of authoritative stuff with foreign policy because most of what you see, unless you really dig online, and more people are, is a fireworks show and a Fox News alert, and here's a retired general to tell you what's what.
Right.
So I love, though, that this monopoly, this stranglehold on the truth and on propaganda is no longer there in the way it was. And I think that's the number one factor that propelled Trump to this great victory. It is sort of the rise of X and Elon Musk. It is the rise of the podcast space. I think that's what's going to continue to drive the car going forward. There will be, of course, mistakes. There will be gaffes. There will be screw-ups. Let's say something else. But generally speaking, I think the new dynamic is here to stay, and it's only going to continue to, I think, change the way our government operates and change the way our culture in general thinks about American society. That said, I'm really excited, still excited for Doge. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do, Joey.
Doge is where I'm at, and they barely touched on it in the Meet the Press interview. But Trump sounded very happy with Elon and Vivek. They tried to do, again, this is another game they play. Like, you know, Eddie, I know you're good friends with that person, but, you know, another friend of yours said that they're here's the accusation, Elon's acting like a second president. So it's trying to pit Elon and Trump against each other. And I mean, Vivek, how is it working with Elon? I mean, aren't you the one who's used to being in charge? It's like, please stop it.
I hope they get laughed out of the room.
You snakes.
Yeah.
You little snakes slithering around power.
Because those guys are smarter than to fall for anything close to that. Well, I hope they get laughed out of the room for that kind of BS.
But Doge has an example it can follow.
Oh?
You know what I'm talking about? Because there's another guy out there who's done, well, his own Doge.
Like a Harry Potter looking dude.
But I'm talking about Javier Milei, of course. Yes, he does kind of look like
He looks Harry Potter-ish, yeah.
All right.
Caught me this weekend.
Looks like he grew up under a stair.
Pop it.
But my op-ed coming out tomorrow of 1819 News is about this. I believe it's called Chainsaws, Wrecking Balls, and Doge Common Sense.
Ooh, I like that title.
And I start with, you know, one of these fruity, fancy quotes or whatever. But Ludwig von Mises. In 1944, Ludwig von Mises writes a book called Bureaucracy. So it's a wartime book. It's put out by Yale.
Okay.
And it's it's actually not that long. It's only 100-something pages. But it's a brilliant breakdown of why does bureaucracy continue to grow? And essentially, Mises was recognizing the revolution he was living through, the revolution of the managerial class, of the rising managerial elite that control every aspect of society through their bureaucratic committees and their bureaucratic process. So here's the quote. This is sort of actually the very end of it. It's sort of him summing things up. Quote, Mises writes, "The champions of socialism call themselves progressives, but they recommend a system which is characterized by rigid observance of routine and by resistance to every kind of improvement." Just think at how they react to somebody like Elon Musk. "They call themselves liberals, but they are intent upon abolishing liberty," writes Mises. "They call themselves Democrats, but they yearn for dictatorship. They call themselves revolutionaries, but they want to make the government omnipotent. They promise the blessings of the Garden of Eden, but they plan to transform the world into a gigantic post office. Every man but one a subordinate clerk in a bureau. What an alluring utopia. What a noble cause to fight for. Against all this frenzy of agitation, there is but one weapon available: reason. Just common sense is needed to prevent man from falling prey to illusory fantasies and empty catchwords." Again, that is Ludwig von Mises in 1944. You want to know how long the progressives have been at it? It was before 1944. He very much in this book goes hard in the paint against Woodrow Wilson, what they were able to do, but he also holds out hope that America is kind of the last nation that didn't fully fall under this bureaucratic managerial takeover. So when asked to give Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy advice on executing their mission at Doge, Argentinian President Javier Milei said, "Just cut to the chase." Just cut to the chase. A year into his tenure, Milei has been doing just that. According to economist Peter St. Onge, Argentina's chainsaw-wielding, self-avowed anarcho-capitalist has cut government spending by a third, a little over $2 trillion in U.S. terms, if the U.S. cut it by a third, and slashed 70,000 government jobs. That would be 700,000 government jobs in U.S. terms, all while bringing down monthly inflation in the nation at 13% to 2.7%. You know that compounds, too.
Yep.
So it really that's a huge drop in the annual rate of inflation. In reaction, Argentinian stocks have soared 125% on the year, while bonds are up 85%. Though Argentina has a long way to go in gaining free market muscle after cutting their government fat, Milei's popularity hasn't waned through the growing pains.
Good.
Indeed, Milei himself wisely predicted beforehand that his revolutionary chainsaw economics would necessarily bring about a painful short-term economic contraction, only to be followed by an economic boom. No pain, no gain. A year into Milei's strategy, it seems to be paying off. After a 3% contraction this past year, they went into a 3% negative 3% GDP.
You knew that was going to happen, though.
At 3% recession, JP Morgan is now projecting an 8.5% GDP growth in Argentina next year.
Wow.
One of the highest growth rates in the world.
Yep.
Needless to say, Milei is the perfect person to give Musk and Ramaswamy advice on how to swiftly slay the Leviathan state. My advice would be for them to go all the way, to push it to the very limit, and don't give up. Do not let down their guard, Milei went on to say in his interview with Lex Friedman. Of course, there will be people complaining, but these are people who are losing privileges, so they will have to explain to society why they are keeping those privileges, and that is quite uncomfortable. No doubt, Milei has his fair share of critics.
Sure.
Especially from the usual suspects in prestige media and academia, institutions who have long been apologists for the worst abuses and abject failures of socialism. For some reason, the corporate press and most university denizens can't help but seethe when they see people set free from their bureaucratic systems of privilege and pull. They call themselves liberals, but they are intent upon abolishing liberty. Good news is the people want their liberty. Not just the people of Argentina, but the American people as well. Donald Trump's victory in November wasn't just a defeat of the puppet Kamala Harris or her party's puppeteers. It was a total rebuke of the entire managerial elite. The American people are no longer listening to the quote-unquote experts in media and academia who for too long have enjoyed their privileges with impunity at the people's expense. Unable to effectively hide their propaganda any longer, the Western managerial elite are exposed. With each passing day, they only appear uglier, fatter, more foolish, and intellectually constipated, all as they attempt to defend a system fashioned in their very own wretched and corpulent image. Ludwig von Mises was right about the progressive liberal elite, all the way back in 1944. They say they are the defenders of democracy, but they are merely defending an unaccountable, corrupt bureaucracy.
Right.
That said, I suspect most defenders of the status quo harbor a secret desire to see the system changed as well. Most critics of Milei's chainsaw, Trump's wrecking ball, or Doge common sense are simply stuck playing a role, defending the prevailing system, and would be happy after the fact to see the status quo go. Even the privileged sometimes secretly yearn to be set free from privileges they did not earn. Though these critics may scream as the chainsaw revs and chews through rotted knots of waste, fraud, and abuse, though they may even wring their hands with worry and woe as the wrecking ball knocks down wall after wall after wall, they are neither willing nor able to build back what was knocked down. Indeed, much of the bureaucracy exists because it exists. Milton Friedman was right. Nothing is so permanent as a temporary government program. Beyond prestige propaganda, the administrative state's greatest defense is simply inertia and time, while its greatest fear is that liberty works absent their plans to shape the world. Milei is right. Musk and Ramaswamy must, quote-unquote, cut to the chase and push it to the very limit when it comes to cutting the administrative state. For now, time is on the bureaucracy side, but I truly believe if we set the American people free, that newly sown seeds of American liberty will bear fruit like never before seen. Trump must move aggressively and vigorously, aided by the common sense of Doge and Milei's example, until he has knocked down so much, so swiftly, that the critics will barely have time to respond in defense of their privileges, let alone convince anyone to build back better what the people have already chosen to alter and abolish. I'm excited for Doge, especially because I'm excited to see ideas that I have loved for over a decade, ideas that have shaped my thinking in so many ways, start to be embodied by actual folks making decisions and making government policy. It's beautiful to watch. Stuff I didn't expect to see this quickly. It is beautiful to watch. Is it always imperfect? Yes.
It's going to be.
Whenever you have somebody embody ideals, it's, unless you're Jesus,
Right.
like
You have
you're
a
going to
person.
be imperfect.
Exactly.
So we'll see. But I think Milei is the perfect guy for Vivek and Elon and Gold Tie Trump to follow his lead. And what's beautiful is they are. Like, they've been meeting together and all the stuff. It's just cool to see this new world bring about changes dearly needed.
So enjoy watching people freak out over the meeting.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying that.
Oh, this is beautiful. I'm seeing this story just out at 1819news.com. State Auditor Andrew Sorrell calls for Alabama Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
The debate over whether crypto will succeed has ended, said Sorrell. That's right. State Auditor Andrew Sorrell, this is written up by Craig Monger at 1819news.com. Y'all can go check it out yourself, is calling on Alabama to lead the nation by establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. He believes this will drive business and investment to Alabama as a quote-unquote crypto-friendly state. Part of President-elect Donald Trump's success in the presidential election was his receptiveness to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Since Election Day, Bitcoin's price has skyrocketed over 50%, making Trump's vow to create a national Bitcoin stockpile a more tangible reality in July. Trump has also met with top crypto executives during his campaign, furthering the president-elect's growing support for the technology and its place in the nation's economy. U.S. Senator Cynthia Lummis, Republican from Wyoming, has already introduced the Boosting Innovation, Technology, and Competitiveness through Optimized Investment Nationwide, the Bitcoin Act. I was wondering what acronym she was going for, which would require the U.S. Treasury to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Supporters of Bitcoin reserves believe they can help the U.S. address national debt while strengthening the dollar and protecting against inflation. Other states are considering strategic crypto reserves to bolster individual states' holdings outside the federal sphere. Andrew Sorrell, who has been one of the longest-term supporters of crypto in Alabama state politics, believes the states increasing their holdings in the growing technology will ultimately attract business and investment. He said, "I believe in diversification," Sorrell told 1819 News. "A well-balanced portfolio should include exposure to many different types of asset classes. As of now, crypto is a $3 trillion asset class that the state has zero exposure to. It is almost the most rapidly growing asset class, averaging an astounding 55% a year for the last 15 years, with the greatest potential for price appreciation. Investing in treasuries and bonds certainly has its place, but earning a 4% yield while inflation is 2.7% is barely breaking even. Secondly," Andrew Sorrell continues, "Alabama would position itself as a crypto-friendly state. I believe that the states that embrace new technologies will stand to benefit from those industries' growth the most. Crypto is here to stay. Nearly 500 million people worldwide own cryptocurrency. The debate over whether crypto will succeed has ended. Now the fight for which states will benefit from it has begun. The states that are first to adopt a tax and regulatory framework that are friendly to crypto will attract business and investment." Sorrell continued, saying it would diversify our investments away from dollar-denominated assets. Currently, all of our investments are U.S. dollar-based. What happens if the dollar ceases to be the reserve currency of the world? What happens if inflation runs 8% again like it did during the post-pandemic era? Bitcoin's value is unaffected by what happens to the U.S. dollar, or could even benefit from the dollar's demise, one might argue. It would strengthen our state's balance sheet and could be used as a collateral for future debt issuances. Yep. States like Florida and Pennsylvania are currently debating models for holding a Bitcoin reserve. Since states holding crypto investments are so novel, the details are still being worked out. For Sorrell, since the Security and Exchange Commission authorized Bitcoin and Ethereum exchange-traded funds this year, states can buy into crypto as easily as they can purchase stock through a traditional brokerage. This is beautiful. Thank you, Andrew Sorrell.
I like that idea.
Thank you, sir. I think he is he's leading on this. And I have, of course, been pleading, screaming, and I've been a jackass about it for a while now. But I think State Auditor Sorrell is 100% right.
Well, you're screaming people to come make money, basically.
Yes.
And which is very frustrating when you're like, please.
Right.
Please.
Well, for the longest time, though, oh, it's just like tulip mania. I'm like, yeah, I've read economic history, too. Thanks. Have you heard of the island of Yap? Have you?
No.
They had these particular limestone, like huge stone discs.
Huh?
And their currency was essentially a ledger etched into those discs. And it worked for a long time. Until somebody found a bunch of limestone and brought it over. This is why limestone and many other things are not, copper is not great for currency. Even silver is, there's always been issues with it in the long run.
I'm telling you, poor countries always have the strictest currency rules. And it's more about control than anything, controlling their population.
So,
very true.
Very cool. Really appreciate State Auditor Sorrell throwing his hat into the ring. And I know we last time he was on the show, we talked about this at length. He should be, I think, the point person on this. But of course, there are great guys. Phil Binsler, Democrat here in this area, is very open to making Alabama a crypto-friendly state, very on top of it, as is Representative Republican Mike Shaw in the State House there. So, and I'm also hearing more folks are trying to buy into it personally. Let's say some state lawmakers are looking into it personally. And that's how it begins. Mm-hmm. When you start using your own money, you start going, and you learn as you go through it and kind of watch it. Yeah, I think this is a good sign ahead. But Alabama needs to be swift.
Yeah.
Very swift indeed.
I got a feeling there's going to be a bandwagon, and also got a feeling we'll be the last ones on it.
Yeah, don't be such a Debbie Downer.
It's Alabama.
Yeah, I know. We'll get there. Hey, Garland Gudger. You're now the pro tem. Like, let's make it happen, man. Let's make it happen, man. You're a young man. Let's do it. Anyway. 272-9228. This is part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, they're ready to help, well, you men out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fellas, if you're feeling run down and tired all the livelong day, like you're walking through your life in a fog and trudging through mud at the same time, you're physically and mentally just kaput, as Lily Von Stupp would say.
Mm-hmm.
So you're also seeing a lack of drive in general, like the motivations in there, including a decrease in your sex drive, no libido to speak of.
Right.
Unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, and you haven't changed how much you're eating or how active you are during the day, your workout habits. It's just happening. Well, knowing whether you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And they have low-T treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health. If that is indeed your problem, that can truly change men's lives. Men, after these treatments, can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother, that's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido.
It's all right.
Yeah. It's all right. And you can actually book the same day that you call, which is also just all right.
That's all right.
That's pretty all right. And, you know, discretion, they're discreet.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
So call them up today. That number for Montgomery Men's Health, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to montgomerymenshealth.com to book your appointment today.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
What would you do if your favorite local independent pharmacy had to close? This is not a question we can afford to ignore. And at Adams Drugs, we are fighting alongside other independent pharmacies to keep our doors open. We need your help now. Contact your local and state representatives and demand they support our fight to stay open. You can find their contact information on our website, adamsdrugs.net. Thank you for your support. We look forward to serving you and your family for many years to come.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Looking to sell or maybe for your dream home or the perfect piece of land? I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader. Together, we're your go-to real estate team at Forest Meadows Homes and Land.
Whether you're buying, selling, or looking to invest, we know the Central Alabama market inside and out.
From cozy homes to sprawling estates, we make finding the right property easy and stress-free.
With us, you're not just a client, you're a partner. We're here for all your real estate needs.
Let us show you that not all agents are the same, and let's make your real estate dreams a reality. Call us today, 334-322-0662.
Hey, this is Randy with Super Phone Center on Burbank Drive. When we advertise with Blue Water Broadcasting, we get results. Spend your money where it counts. Blue Water Broadcasting.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Well, hi, everybody. We are radar watching, and our weather app will keep you on top of the action. The risk of periods of rain with maybe a few thunderstorms will continue tonight and tomorrow, Tuesday and Tuesday night. Some of the storms on Tuesday could be strong. Low tonight down to about 60. Very mild on Tuesday with a high in the lower 70s, and then another temperature plunge on Wednesday. Wednesday's high barely up to about 50. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I want to go back to Gold Tie Trump.
Okay.
Because he's just making me happy. This is Mr. Gold Tie. They're doing the walk and talk thing.
Oh, I like that.
You know the walk and talk.
Oh, yeah.
Let's listen in.
Just what are the top ones people should know about?
A lot of it will have to do with economics. A lot's going to have to do with energy. A lot's going to do with having to do with the border. We're going to immediately strengthen up the border and do a real job. And some of the basics.
I began the interview with one of the top issues for voters, the economy and the cost of living. I want to delve into one of your signature promises on the campaign trail, which was to end inflation, to lower prices. You are now proposing tariffs against the United States' three biggest trading partners. Economists of all stripes say that ultimately consumers pay the price of tariffs.
I don't believe
Can
it.
you guarantee American families won't pay more?
I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow. But I can say that
Old Tie
if
Trump.
you look at just pre-COVID, we had the greatest economy in the history of our country. And I had a lot of tariffs on a lot of different countries, but in particular China. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars, and we had no inflation. In fact, when I handed it over, they didn't have inflation for a year and a half. They wanted almost 2 years just based on what I had created. And then they created inflation with energy and with spending too much. So I think I'm a big believer in tariffs. I think tariffs are the most beautiful word. I think they're beautiful. It's going to make us rich. We're subsidizing Canada to the tune of over $100 billion a year. We're subsidizing Mexico for almost $300 billion. We shouldn't be subsidizing. Why are we subsidizing these countries? If we're going to subsidize them, let them become a state. We're subsidizing Mexico, and we're subsidizing Canada, and we're subsidizing many countries all over the world. And all I want to do is I want to have a level, fast, but fair playing field.
Sir, your previous tariffs during your first administration cost Americans some $80 billion. And now you have major companies from Walmart, Black & Decker, AutoZone saying that any tariffs are going to force them to drive up prices for their consumers. How do you make sure that these CEOs, that these companies don't, in fact, pass on the cost of tariffs to their consumers?
They cost Americans nothing. They made a great economy for us. They also solve another problem. If we were going to have problems having to do with wars and having to do with other things, tariffs, I have stopped wars with tariffs by saying, you guys want to fight, it's great, but both of you are going to pay tariffs to the United States at 100%. And they have many purposes, tariffs, if properly used. I don't say you use them like a madman. I say properly used. But it didn't cost this country anything. It made this country money, and we never really got the chance to go all out because we had to fight COVID in the last part. And we did it very successfully. And when I handed it over to Biden, the stock market was higher than what it was just previous to COVID coming in. It was actually higher. Tariffs are properly used, are a very powerful tool, not only economically, but also for getting other things outside of economics.
Are you actually going to impose these tariffs, or are they a negotiating tactic?
Well, I'll give you an example. With Canada, and in particular Mexico, we have millions of people pouring into our country. You agree with that. I spoke with I spoke with Justin Trudeau. In fact, he flew to Mar-a-Lago within
Hand in hand?
about 15 seconds after the call. And he was at Mar-a-Lago. We were having dinner talking about it. I said, you have to close up your borders because they're coming in the northern border, too, a lot. Not like the southern border, but they're coming in the Canadian border a lot. And drugs are pouring in. Almost as importantly, drugs are pouring in, maybe more importantly, drugs are pouring in at levels never seen before, 10 times what we had. They're just pouring in. We can't have open borders. And I said to the president of Mexico and to Justin Trudeau, if it doesn't stop, I'm going to put tariffs on your country at about 25%.
The chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, said he will not leave his post even if you ask him to. Will you try to replace Jerome Powell?
No, I don't think so. I don't see it. But I think if I told him to, he would. But if I asked him to, he probably wouldn't. But if I told him to, he would.
You don't have plans to do that right now?
No, I don't.
But
Yeah, it's Gold Tie Trump. He's a little, he's clever.
At one point, I thought her eyeball was going to shoot out of her head, though.
Yeah, I know.
And first, another thing, if he is using that for negotiations,
right,
and you don't let that out.
Right.
Yeah, don't let it out, dummy. This is something we keep close to the chest. Just watch and learn.
Right.
Come on.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
Hey, guys. You know, I thought old Macaroni over in France was going to just tackle Trump and give him a big old French kiss.
Daddy, I'm so glad you're home.
Did you see them going back and forth, the handshake wars?
I know. Oh,
over the top, baby.
A little bit, just a little bit. I think he was very happy to see Trump maybe get his numbers up out of the dirt.
Hello, Daddy. I need help, Daddy.
So glad you're home, Daddy.
Oh, what a little nut job that guy is, I tell you. But you know what kills me is all these people on the media. All the experts say this, and all the experts say this. All the doctors say that. The scientists say the other. You know, we got to trust what they got to say.
Right.
You know? And it makes a 2 cents worth of difference. It never does. All they're trying to do is use these so-called experts' opinions to, favor their thoughts, the points that they're trying to make, and none of them turn out to be right. Sometimes they just make it up, all the intelligence agents, they said this. Okay.
Right.
Whatever. At this point, there's no point in even saying anything, even believing anything they have to say.
All the epidemiologists say COVID was a natural virus. It wasn't coming from a lab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the proctologists say you got to go get one of those things up your butt every 2-3 years. Well, imagine that. They get paid for that. So, obviously, the proctologist is going to say, yeah, you need one. It's just so stupid. The other thing that kills me is the way these people write their little story. It's just, unfounded rumor and untrue facts, and especially about the voting, fraud that took place.
Mm-hmm.
He's stating untrue and unfounded, but those blatantly untrue facts. Conspiratorial. How did they know it's untrue? Where did they get that?
Well, they get proven wrong constantly. So yeah, it's a good point.
Well, so the only reason you're putting that out is because what? You try to, favor your cause.
Yep.
You haven't investigated even one thing, and they haven't investigated anything. There's no investigation. They just throw it out there. Makes me, kind of ill to even read it. But I guess what can we expect? We've seen it happen over the years more and more. But I don't know at this point who's believing them, really.
Yeah, I think the vast majority of people either don't believe him or just tuned out in general.
Kind of tuned out, I'd say. Was it some MSNBC, Joy Reid, one of those? They only had like 38,000 people watching.
Wait, she still has a show?
Yeah. They just gotta eat.
That's crazy. You've got all that infrastructure, all those producers.
Best you can come up with.
Like best cameras, best sound. Like you've got all the graphics, and like that's really the best you can do. Whereas some 16-year-old, plays a video game and has millions of viewers.
Yep.
And knows how to edit it himself. Like.
Yep.
A blogger had more viewers than that, But that's right. Yeah, it's kind of low. But the only thing that's ever keeping them alive after this is just because it is a, corporate press. They're going to get paid. This, they're paying the bill. They're no, real advertisers. This is just, a show to get a point across that they want to get across. So anyway.
So what do you make of that news that the guy arrested in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO, his name is Luigi Mangione?
Luigi. I wouldn't have never guessed. Would you even thought it? Luigi.
Never. Either one of those two names, not on my bingo card.
Yeah, but then you see him and you're like, that looks like a Luigi to me.
Them dark, pickle eyebrows he's got, boy.
That's one spicy meatball right there, yeah.
But what is spicy meatball? I don't know what to make of it, I think like the news says, there's not many tears being shed for that guy.
TikTok, I'm sure and Facebook too, and as I guess YouTube was the same way. A lot of the shorts, man, there were not anybody very favorable to this guy getting.
Well, no, and it sounds like this Luigi Mangione guy. He was like valedictorian of his high school.
Yeah.
He's got relatives in politics. He helped exercise Boo's castle with his vacuum. Wait, no, that was the video.
Okay,
sorry.
Joe Biden, Hunter Biden you're talking about there.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, did you see that SNL let Dana Carvey do the church lady with David Spade playing Hunter Biden?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
A little uncomfortable.
But it took them to bring back these old vets to even do something.
People ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
No way.
Church lady.
Well, isn't that special?
Mm-hmm.
Church lady is from the 90s, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's a long time ago. Oh, okay. Well, it's going to be sad for somebody that literally got away with a crime scot-free. They just,
Oh yeah, perfect crime, baby.
Yep. And he's going to, pardon probably his whole family, at least. I would say before it's over with.
His brother and what? Even Jill? You think he's going to pardon Jill for reasons we don't even know?
Pardon Jill.
I think so too.
Well, I don't know. He might not pardon Jill. depending on if she's been changing his underwear on a regular, his diaper at regular basis. If she hadn't been good at changing his diaper, maybe not. I don't know.
They might leave her out there then.
All right, guys. Listen, thanks a lot. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Papa B.
B.
See you, man.
Before we hit this last break and go to Ray Bowles of Prattville Carpet, you know, I think I haven't seen too much about the war on Christmas, thank God.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that too.
I haven't heard any
really seen a
controversies,
lot,
and
no.
I mean, I guess there was the whole, parade thing, but, honestly, like the actual
But
war on
usually
Christmas.
every year, there's hey, you'll hear that, hey, you can't say Merry Christmas and you
Right.
can't do this. Yeah, I haven't heard much of that this year.
So, because we haven't heard much of this, let's go to comedian Pete Holmes.
Okay.
And how he approaches this whole "you can't say Merry Christmas" thing.
All right.
Let's
Take it
listen
away,
in.
Pete.
I hate to offend people, so this whole last holiday season, I didn't let out one Merry Christmas. That's true. Instead, I said, may the birth of the one and only true God Jesus Christ bestow a blessing of grace and peace upon your household, to the belittlement of every other false religion, lest you be gay. That's what I say. I hate to.
Thank you, Pete Holmes, for that little gem. The guy's freaking hilarious.
Oh, he is.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Happy holidays from Marguerite's. And every year we do an unbelievable $99 Christmas special. And it's got to be 14 karat white or yellow gold, and it's got to be high quality Marguerite's diamonds. Well, this year it's the best one ever. It's individual 14 karat letters that we've cut out and added a 7-point diamond to on a 14 karat necklace. Impossible. That's right. All the initial diamond necklaces, $99 at Marguerite's till Christmas.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Welcome back. You know, I got lyrics to this one, too.
Yeah.
Wrote this song, actually, in high school. Let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Well, just sitting here watching the rain. It's a beautiful sight.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we really needed the rain so bad, especially since I threw out that winter rye the other day.
Yeah, that would
And
do
I've
some
just
well.
been watching the birds eating it up.
They enjoying it?
They were enjoying it. I'm hoping after today I can actually see a lot more green on the
Yeah.
ground than what's been happening.
Reminds
And I
me
think
of...
the other thing that you...
Yeah?
Go ahead.
No, I was saying it reminds me of a John Fogerty song, but you're the other thing you're going to say?
No. We're not talking about that kind of green.
No, I didn't mean
Talking
that
about
way.
the rain.
Yeah, have you ever seen the rain?
I thought you said the other kind of green. No, I'm not growing on that yet. Alabama won't let us. Yeah, don't go. Hey, listen, Chief, don't go snooping around the house. It's all fine. It's going to get muddy. I remember when Ron was on the police department, his big thing is he's always like, man, I would love to plant some marijuana seeds around City Hall and see how long it took for just one policeman to figure it out. He said they'd probably be like 6 foot tall for everybody to notice. Yeah, that would be a little fun. But hey, look, if y'all are looking for a floor, call us. We have all kind of waterproof floors. You can let your dogs out. They come in, get them wet, not a big deal. But it all starts with a phone call, 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement.
Just that simple, folks. 285-8117. When you call them up at 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Guys, have a great day.
You too.
Ray.
See you, Ray.
We've had some comments rolling in the whole show. Sticks fan says, newsflash, mild-mannered talk show host Joey Clark and Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen, the same person. I think so. Has anyone ever seen the two of them at the same place at the same time together?
How tall are you?
I'm not as tall as him,
Okay,
but
all right,
I could
then, yeah.
see the doppelganger, especially with me with the facial hair. I could see it.
Okay.
I used to get Tom DeLonge in high school when I was clean shaven.
I used to get Alfred Newman.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. And, yeah.
Dwayne says Judge Napolitano was interviewed on Newsmax last hour about the subway verdict decision. Very cool.
Ooh, that's cool.
We'll have to talk to the judge about
Yeah.
that tomorrow, as well as Syria and so many other things going on that he's paying attention
Ooh, I bet
to.
he's got some thoughts on that.
Yeah. Cat Williams, the prophet. Yep, that's right.
No doubt.
Definitely a prophet. Sam is saying, where am I? What is this place? He, I guess, posted it on X. Is this place a purveyor of hate? Well, it depends on the day, Sam. It depends on the day. So, have we learned anything today?
Luigi Mangione.
Luigi Mangione is the one who was arrested.
Yes.
In
He's
the
guy that was
United
arrested.
Healthcare CEO murder.
Yep. We also learned Israel's dropping soldiers back there in Syria for defensive purposes.
Oh, yeah, and Turkey's getting in on it.
Everybody's getting some licks in.
This outgoing administration, man. Though I suspect this just caught everybody by surprise. I don't think this was necessarily designed. I think this group was like, let's just keep going.
I think they pulled the goalie. Syria pulled the goalie a while back. Didn't tell anybody, and it's taken this long for like that guy.
Somebody
to
to
go and
actually
go,
take a
"Hey,
shot on goal.
Yeah, it's unlocked. The gate's unlocked.
Right. I think that you're 100% right. And it's going to lead to a mad scramble in the Middle East. Like you start getting all the different ethnic groups, from the Kurds to the religious divides, and it could just cause a big
And I agree
mess.
with Trump.
We'll see.
This is not for us.
No. Let it play out.
Right.
Let it play out.
We
There are
can
things that we can do from afar.
Which we can watch from afar.
Yes. So, hey, y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Vidal. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.